Day Internet, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I am your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Wordz. Happy 2-year anniversary to everyone. For 2 years, every single Monday we have been rocking out here. Y'all have made Monday feel like it is worthy of hanging out at the cool kids table. I appreciate y'all. Y'all make Friday so jealous and Sunday so pissed. We have 40 poets who are going to rock out tonight. So let us get into it. We have been doing this for 105 weeks in a row. That is 2 years in a row. This is the last show of Volume 2. We're going to have to think of a name for the 3rd year. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. Yes, we are now streaming live on Twitter. I'm going to have to add that to the show cards. And like I said, we do it every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. If you happen to be watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitter, and you would like to join us, the number is there at the bottom of the screen, 279-995-364. We would like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events over the last 2 years. You too can help us with a tax-deductible donation by going to www.nuyorican.org/contribute or hitting us on the Cash App, Nuyorican Poets Cafe. 2 years! You don't understand. I have been wanting to do online open mics for several years. And then the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, way before the pandemic, I talked about how they can expand, and I kept saying do online open mics. And then, of course, when the pandemic hit and we couldn't be inside the cafe, we finally started doing it. We started with our Thursday night online open mics. When I got that phone call and they were like, Wordz, what are you doing on Monday nights? We'd like to do an online open mic. I said, hells yeah, let's do it. It started off just as a one-off. They said Monday went great. Why don't you do it another week? And then I did another week, and then the third week, and then the fourth week. And it was like by the sixth week, they were like, all right, we're going to do this every Monday. And from now on, in my mind, I'm thinking we are going to do this forever and ever now. 2-year anniversary we're going to celebrate tonight. And of course, year 3 begins next week, as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. And we're going to talk about pets. I don't think we've ever really talked about our pets here. So I'm excited for that. After that, the next week is Haiku Day. After that is Poet Appreciation. And that is when our poets are not going to read poems of their own, but they're going to read poems of other poets. That's what we do there. You can see all of this and more of our upcoming themed Monday Night Online open mics by checking me out on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Just look up Advocate of Wordz. And of course, when you spell words, that's with a Z because poetic license. Okay. Let us get into the rules. Poets, when you are performing, when one of the 40 of you are performing and you hear me call out your name with a great deal of pride, turn your camera on. We have always looked to simulate an in-person open mic as much as possible. We want to not only see your beautiful faces, we want to make sure that you've cleaned your room, and we want to see your expressions while you read your poems. Like I said, we're looking to simulate an in-person open mic as much as possible. Also, because we've got 40 poets, have your poems ready. If it is on your screen, make sure that on your computer, make sure you already have that file open. If you're going analog style, make sure you turn to that page. Have it ready. We are going to be going through the list rather quickly because our poets only have 2 minutes to perform tonight. There it is. 2 minutes to perform. And please, a super short intro, 15-second intro. You know, quickly say, I love you, New York. This is great. Rock out. Woo. This is where you can find me online. And let's get into your poem because, like I said, we are going to be hearing from 40 poets tonight. In terms of censorship, put the kids to bed. As always, our poets sometimes like to use mommy and daddy language. And on a more serious note, our poets can possibly share something that's very vulnerable. It could possibly be triggering. So they have a great deal of space. It is just exactly how our founders had wanted it when they started the open room, open mic. So there's no censorship. You have been warned. After our poets perform, please unmute yourself and make enemies with your neighbor as you scream loud and cheer for our poets after sharing their work. It's not easy performing on Zoom. It's not easy performing on the stage. Our poets give a lot of themselves, so make sure that you give them a lot of energy. That's when that pops up on your screen. Click that unmute button and let your voice be heard. Okay. Tonight's list is closed. It went by quickly, of course, because it's 2-year anniversary. Thank y'all so much. We are around for 2 years only because of this community and how eager people have been and how much love they have given to it. Thank you so much. Our signups begin 24 hours before the show on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. To sign up, you would visit nuyorican.org and click full events calendar. After you do that, you would click on the date that you're signing up for. Next week is April 11th. So you would click on the 11th. Then you would have to get an artist RSVP ticket. It's the only way to get onto the open mic list. The View RSVP ticket only reminds you that, hey, we got a show coming. Why don't you come check it out? The artist RSVP ticket, which is for free, is the only way to get onto the open mic list. So, real quick, our workshop Let's Write a Book of Poems has been happening every Sunday evening. Last week, I made a lot of enemies because people got we touched on some feelings last week, and then I made a lot of enemies last night because people got carpal tunnel. We have been writing a lot. All that information can be found on nuyorican.org and on my social medias. Of course, tomorrow I'm going to explain this thoroughly later on. The submissions open up. You are going to be able to email me your poems that you have performed on the Monday or Thursday night online open mic. We will talk about that later on, though, in much more detail, and it will be all up on the social media, and it will give you, it's going to be a long post explaining everything so that we can get a book together. Also, this Saturday, April 9th, the hybrid open mic. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later on as well. For those of you who don't know, because of how beautiful this community has been, not only have we gotten the 2 years, but when the cafe opened back up, one of the things we thought about was we cannot leave this community behind. There are a lot of people around the world who are now part of our community. They have donated not only their time, and some of them their money, but they've been donating their poetry as well. So we have the hybrid open mic, where half of our open mic is here in the brick and mortar of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and the other half joins us via Zoom. And then we put their big, beautiful faces up on our big projector. It's like the cinematic experience for those who are in the cafe and they get to enjoy it, so that literally their voices are reverberating within the walls of the cafe. But again, I'm going to talk about that later because I do want to get to the poetry of these people. This is only 35. There are 5 more on that list, like Terry Rose Jurtson, Paul Skiff, Khaled Dukaya Garcia. So their names aren't even up on here, but these are all the names that are up on here. As you can see, we have many of the mainstays. I know some are returning, like the Urban Cowboy Poet. I haven't heard from him in a while. I'm really excited to hear from him. So all those names you can see. Jane Spoken Word, I haven't heard from her in a long time. So we're going to be hearing from all of them. You're going to be hearing my mouth all night long. So I say, let us get to it. And of course, a shout out to the sung hero of the community, Mr. Ron Mark Thompson. Later on, of course, we are going to be hearing from him, so he could let you know all that he is doing. He is the producer of this event. He is producing, of course, Hybrid, and of course, 2 venues, 1 mic. He is a producer. Shout out, of course, to our executive producer of 2 venues, 1 mic, Mariela Salazar, who is on the list, and we will get to hear from her. But right now, we are going to my man, Mr. DG Clearing, to kick us off. Mr. Clearing, are you here? Yes, he's here. Brother,
here.
Quickly let the,
so good to
let
be
the
here.
folks get. Floor is yours.
Find me at DG Clearing online somewhere. Today is our 2nd anniversary, and we are to celebrate what we are. And what we are, the pandemic poets. What are we? The pandemic poets. Writers of thoughts and tellers of truths. What are we? The pandemic poets, searchers of souls for secrets not told. What are we? The pandemic poets, friends amongst friends. We laugh and we cry. What are we? The pandemic poets, recorders of history so not to be lost. What are we? The pandemic poets, sharers of love straight from our heart. What are we? The pandemic poets, interpreters of pain with the jagged edges we share. What are we? The pandemic poets, warriors of words, slayers of wrong. What are we? The pandemic poets, thirsters of love and crazers of desire. What are we? The pandemic poets, vagabonds of society, wanderers of intellect. What are we? The pandemic poets, painters with a pen, curators of wisdom. What are we? The pandemic poets, pawns on the chessboard, axioms of morals. What are we? The pandemic poets, bleeders of evidence, seekers of time. What are we? The pandemic poets, soothsayers of the universe, prophets of knowledge. What are we? The pandemic poets, diviners of or meanings, philosophers of awareness. What are we? The pandemic poets, wranglers of sentences, rhythms, and rhyme. What are we? The pandemic poets. The consciousness of all things. We are poets.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for DJ Clear.
That's how you open a night up.
Oh man, that was so great.
Pandemic. Quarterback.
What a way to kick off the evening, the pandemic poets. I love it. I think that we're going to have to start off like every anniversary show with that poem. It has not gotten old. I so love it. DG Clearing, look him up on Facebook. Brother, thank you so much for kicking off the night so appropriately, too. So appropriately. All right, let's keep it moving. We are going from the pandemic poets to the beanie god with Deadpan Lizzie. Elizabeth Strauss, let me unmute her. Deadpan, it is a pleasure to see you as always. Like the good folks know where they can find you online. And then you got 2 minutes to rock out. A pleasure to see you, sis.
Good to see you, brother. Beanie blessings. I haven't double bagged in a while, but I got to put my Yankee beanie on for the anniversary show. And I see you're rocking your Yankee cap. If you want to follow me, ES_Strauss on Instagram. Love that piece, by the way, DG. That's a beautiful way to start off the night. This piece is called Unpolished. The one place we should not be afraid to be ourselves in our art, more specifically our poetry. I enjoyed polished poetry, but I prefer when it's unpolished. Simple, sexy, doesn't have to be deadpan, but straight to the point. We can pen the polished lines. I'm more wrinkled than the pillow lines on my cheek after a long journey's night with love. When we really mean, I am fucking exhausted because they played with my damn heart and mind and I let them for too long. Or my soul was shaking under lukewarm waterfalls. When I really mean, I had a nervous breakdown in my shower, holding my inner child to get through it while soap stung my eyes. Either way, it's poetry. We all feel the emotions. Why sugarcoat it in our poems? We all get angry, mad, sad, horny. Let's just say it like it is. I am horny and want to make love to them until dawn breaks and much longer. And for those of us who are currently living in Singlesville, I have no one to get sweaty with. My toys are charging, but God gifted me with 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. I'll let myself get off just before running around to show real estate all day. And to those gifted enough to get their own junk in their mouths, I would love to meet you. Let's not be afraid to tell it like it is. Unpolished poetry is my favorite because poetry does not have to be cohesive. It's where we get to break the rules of grammar and writing. I'll wrap this poem up with a panku. The more honest the poetry, the better the sex. Happy anniversary.
Ooh, unmute yourselves. Give it up for Deadpan Lizzie.
Break all the rules. Let's go, Lizzie. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. The hint at dirtiness there. I love it. Deadpan Lizzie. Make sure you give her a follow. Her book is coming out soon. And if after you get a book and you need a place to live, make sure you see her because she's a real estate agent. All right, let's keep it moving. Next coming up, I mentioned April 9th. And not only do you get some hybrid poetry in you, afterwards we got a karaoke night. And for the first time in history, the New Rican Poets Cafe has a karaoke night. This will actually be the second show, but it was started last month by our next poet who's been here since damn near day one of our online open mics, my man Paul Con Queso, the only reason Jersey exists. Paul, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and it's your turn to rock out, brother. Good to see you.
Thank you, brother. Yo, Jersey has so many things to celebrate, but I'm just one of them. At Paul Con Queso on IG and Venmo. Storm God's in the motherfucking building. I'm a speed run this shit. 1,051,200 minutes. We poets speak violently, fracture big hand on wall clock and break Guinness Book history, smash records to smithereens, frisbeeing vinyl disc and vernacular acts of catastrophe. We drag race breath and beg blood to bring us to simmering, yet we still Malcolm and Marie mac and cheese clash with peace, picking glass shards from callous palms, calling it window pane. Too fast, too furious, sing. Do it for the family. Watch as we sip the 150 proof moonshine of our open wounds. Lines obstacle coursing through veins, free as verse singing a symphony. Watch us bleach red flags white and wave them surrendering. A funeral procession we've made of our skeletons, laid bare on the brick facade of a cafe wall for all to view. Pulp and sin you, cause this ain't love. It's a bloodbath, a mad dash to a tour date with death as its headliner. A festival where we belt ballads of fallacy, cause we all some beautiful fucking liars, aren't we? Telling truths no one else could. Powers used for good, only such cunning linguistics could tongue twist you into kingdom come. Cause do you know what today is? New Year anniversary. It's been a surreal 2 years, 730 days of our 730 ways, Madison Hatters, haberdashed by supercalifragilistic egos. We had foresight to do-see-do, cause today's our New Year anniversary. And just like our host, we done trekked every alphabet city avenue, advocating letters A to Z. These spells we cast conjuring prove we are not only renewed for a whole nother year, but given our growing cast of characters, perhaps the best still yet to come, from Tukayas to Rays, Velvets, Noelias, Nathaniels, curly-headed ninnies, Mias who will cut you, Vex, Lexes, Nikos, Gustavs, Claudia Caps, Christy Skibbles, Tabithas, and plenty other new girls and boys meeting world franks amongst this community where we sit calm, fusing storm force elements who made voices and signs felled, proving it's always sunny in a house full where our New Eurekan family matters, cause like Michael Scott, you can pack up and leave the office, but you'll never undo how you made us all feel those some odd 1,051,200 minutes. So loyal viewers, Zoomers, YouTubers, and Facebook voyeurs too, we ain't forget about you. Stay tuned, cause though season 2 brought about plenty from 2-1s and hybrids to karaoke after parties, anthologies, and books we're writing at retreats, we, wild poets, know just how to make a Loisaida scene. This is shaping up to be not just another hot poet summer, but an earth-scorching hell of a 4 full solstices. So welcome one and all to season 3. We plan to be more spectacularly, gorgeously reckless and violent than ever with our lines, so run us back a few more million times and let's break every fucking record together.
Unmute yourself, give it oh my God! Oh God!
Here, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Paul con queso. His name is right there in the bottom of the screen. Of course, y'all can change your name so you could be like Paul and, you know, shave the sides of your head, get yourself a mullet, and also put your Zoom name right there at the bottom. Make sure that you come check us out on Saturday. It is going to be lit. Thank you, Paul. Let's keep it moving. We now go from Jersey all the way to England to the executive producer of 2 venues, 1 mic, which I got in a shout out in Paul's poem, and that is Mariela Salazar. Mariela, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then you got 2 minutes to rock out.
Hi, you guys can find me at Made by Mariella. So I'm going to do this poem that I wrote for National Poetry Month. Right, it's an apology letter to England. I arrived to the cool, damp Cambridge air, felt the philosophy and the way Newton's tree shook to the damp droplets. Rain poured like a stiff upper lip, resistant to weather patterns, determined to refract sunlight, appear magical. Most mornings, rain fell like a dewy sweat, reminding my skin it was not alone in perspiration, contemplation. Other days, my skin drank greedily, thirsty for vitamin D deficiency. It consumed the rain when sunlight did not scorch it. Winter mornings raged as harshly as a quiet storm, left me with a longing for the humidity of outdoor summer mornings. I waited for rain like its patient suitor, only to elope into the sunset with a cool breeze. In the rain, I learned to resist a stiff upper lip, that resilience came as infrequently as weather changes. Through the rain, I learned to scorn home, condemn it for its false hopes, curse at gods for naming it home. Because of rain, I learned that forgiveness comes with a season. It is easiest to forgive when spring falls, that apologies are ungrateful when they fall on deaf ears. It was rain that taught me the words of a most sincere apology, the right gesture to make when lips mouth goodbye. Patiently, rain raised me. Patiently, I pray it forgive me when spring falls. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Mary.
Oh, loved it.
Beautiful. That's so
Yo.
sweet. Oh, it's sweet.
Beautiful.
Mariella Salazar, you can follow her at Made by Mariella. Of course, she does a pretty decent English accent. You know, I mean, she's from Queens, New York, but she does a pretty. No, I'm joking. She's actually out in the UK and she's staying up late to hang out with us. Thank you very much, Mariella. Make sure that y'all give her a follow at Made by Mariella. She's also an awesome singer, and she's also my girlfriend. Which, not for nothing, I got to meet her because of y'all, man. Y'all made me look so good on here, and she was like, oh snap, maybe I will be involved with someone from the Bronx. Maybe I will dare to step out of England in the rain. Yes, she did. I appreciate y'all, family. All right, let's keep it moving. Next coming up is Jeff Cottrell. Where is Jeff? Oh, there he is. There he is. The sidekick to Pinky. Jeff, let the good folks know where they can find you online and they can find your book, and then you got 2 minutes to rock out, brother.
All right, find me at jeffcottrell.com and Facebook and Twitter, and this is what my novel looks like. It's officially available now, so I'll put some links in the chat about that. I have new shit. See if I can fit this into 2 minutes. It's called Trying to Break into the Group Conversation. So this is a nice rest. What did you guys? Well, the thing I saw that. Yeah, that. If I know what you. I know somebody like. When. Yeah, but. To answer your question, but then that's, well, because the funny, but I know a guy who, and when the best part of that movie, then, you know, the most important rule of life that everybody should know that solves every problem. But is anybody even hearing me? Is there any? Nobody can hear me. I'm a serial killer with 12 bodies buried in my basement. I'm going to give $1,000 to each one of you. There's a deadly hurricane heading for this area right now. I know for a fact that the chef peed in all your dishes. I have undeniable proof that God exists and that he hates people who listen to rap metal. All of your flies are open, wide open. I'm going to leave now without paying my share of the bill. Bye, assholes. That was new shit called Trying to Break into the Group Conversation.
Brilliant.
Give it up for Jeff Cottrell!
Here, Jeff. Here, Jeff. Here, Jeff. Top tier.
That was great.
Brilliant.
What's hilarious is that at first everyone was checking like, oh damn, is my microphone work? What the? Until they called on Jeff Cottrell. Make sure that you give that man a follow. His book is out. Go give it a read. And of course, he must be awesome because he is the sidekick to Pinky, who we all love. Jeff, I appreciate you, a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Just like our next poet, Finn Bell, who does her own open mics and poetry games and karaoke and all that good stuff. Finn, let the folks know where they can find you on the line, and then the floor is yours.
Good evening, family, and happy 2nd anniversary. I am on Linktree. It is Finn Bell. And let's get right into my poem. I'm just going to do the first half of it since it's a long one. It's called We Linger Still. I rapped on the ceiling only twice, tiptoeing on my high perch, my egret slender limbs trembling, a high wire act equal parts exhilaration and fear of being discovered. I rapped on the ceiling once more, slowed my heart, slowed my breathing, listened, waited. It was all I could do to suspend the lunacy, looming mere inches over me, a storm cloud riling the ornate figures that in turn watched me. In rage, clown-faced shapes, changing their mood in the waver of the candlelight, ready to condemn my slight movement as I hugged the wall. I waited, steady patience herself, because I knew that he heard me, the boy. I stood stock still, held my breath until he emitted his reply, the usual sigh, the room responding in unison with him, becoming warmer in the way of first days of summer, whenever he was present. Inside this space, he was almost always present, rarely moving from the safety of the nook he made for himself when he first took up residence, but sometimes when the moon tilted in the sky at the correct angle, he liked to squeeze through the growing tear that had formed between the thinness of the plaster. Here he made his way into the cove where one could spy upon the ballroom and all its lascivious players. I would crawl in obediently after him, and we would stare in rapturous quiet at this, our own living zoetrope, marvel in the intimacies contortions would create when bodies became puzzle games to solve in languor, when bodies were codexes and fingers and tongues were keys. The hush of this old edifice was also our language, and we heeded it. Forgotten children, lost children, we needed tending. This manor knew that. I was ever in awe following this beautiful mute waif through endless mazes of corridors, feeling secure, knowing instinctively that his skin felt what the house was whispering to him. As he touched its walls passing, hearing how it would tell him to commune with the shadows and shapes, and he would lean his head just so, cock his ear alongside the tapestry where it was shabby, where the drapes were redolent, with the ancient scent that secrets leave, that past dalliances smudged, indelible in the fine cloth crinoline and forgotten whalebone, the only accomplices left behind, their paramours distilled in relics, now locked beneath the glass of gilded frames and tightly sealed within curio cases.
Finn, we gotta wrap up. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll just stop here. All the old furniture remained. They had seen this house grow upward and outward. They had grown with it, grown older, grown more weary, grown more fragile. Still, they join us in this blissful pact of soundlessness. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Finn Bell.
Finn Bell!
Beautiful. Wow, that
The
was
wordplay.
beautiful.
Your
Amazing.
wordplay is insane, girl.
Second
Make sure that you go give Finn a follow so you could hear the rest of her poem and her other poetry. First time I got to meet Finn was actually in the chat here on Zoom. Performers, after you're done, make sure you look in the chat. People say some awesome things. And she had commented on someone else's poetry, and I was like, oh, I don't know who this woman is, but I know she knows her stuff. Finn Bell, make sure that you go and give her a follow. Next coming up is Rich Daddy Glennon, and we knew him when he was just Rich Glennon and Rich Daddy to be Glennon, but now he's Rich Daddy Glennon. Rich, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and you got 2 minutes to rock out, brother. A pleasure to see you as always.
Pleasure's mine. Thank you very much, Africa. And it's a pleasure to see everybody else here. Thank you. I am Rich Glennon on Instagram and Tumblr. And here's 3 short pieces, or 2, if I don't have enough time. This is called 2 Weeks Later. I started a poem 2 weeks ago about my daughter being able to stand with the help of my hands and how she dropped when she let go. I decided it was going to be a short rhyming poem and would use the flowers that bloomed organically during many of our activities. Upsy daisies would sprout across the bed when she stood, and when she plopped, a pedaled wave, like a flapping board at a railway, would yield to a plot of down she goes. Since then, however, other poems got in the way, so this poem stayed in my files, saved as its first line, with a capitalized INC after it to remind myself it was incomplete. but I finally returned to it today, the draft I've long neglected, which has become dated, for my daughter no longer needs my hands to stand. She's a self-stander and a walker to boot. This poem is no longer about a current event, but about a memory of how she once needed me more than she does presently, and how I no longer stand before her, but instead trail her rickety frame, towed by my finger, as the past shadows the future. Okay, thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Rich Daddy Glidden.
Oh, Rich, Daddy Glidden.
Rich.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Always so beautiful. Always so heartfelt.
Save that for her. Save that for her. Give it to her.
You
For her
save that for your
scrapbook.
daughter, please.
Scrapbook.
I think it may have been Michael Sindler who put it in the chat and said that when you're a parent, you don't need write-in prompts. I think he said, was that you, Michael? Was that you? Yes, no, yeah. He's like, you messed up my. It was like that. Words. All right, whatever. It's not that good. All right, wait till I read my poetry words. Michael Sindler is almost next. He is after this next poet, and that is a beast of a poet, Noelia Cerner. Listen, the New York Poets Cafe Monday Night Online Open Mic has not only built up some great players, but we are like the New York Yankees, where we be stealing some great players from other teams, and we stole this woman from another poetry organization, Nomadic Press, which we love, but we stole her and made her one of our own. Noelia Cerner. Noelia, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and you got 2 minutes to light it up, sis. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Much love to you, Advocate. What's up, New Yo? You can find me at nevertheless_Noelia. Here we go. The Gardener's Supply article poses the question, are orchids difficult to grow? Answer, yes, many of them are. In fact, some are almost impossible to keep alive, much less bring into bloom, even for professional growers. And I have never felt more like a flower. You see, I spent so much time thinking I was dandelion, tough, scrappy, able to blossom through the cracks in the concrete, able to thrive with no water, too much sun, able to breathe through whatever amount of oxygen was left for me. Turns out I require specialized care. Overly sensitive to the changes in energy, too observant of the ways that vibes can die, even if it's only happening in my head, hypervigilant for any red flag, for any phrasing that could potentially mean someone doesn't want me, always examining beneath every word for any sign saying run. The normal absence of two people living their lives sometimes feels like not enough water, sometimes stay sounds like go if he pronounces it just so. I apologize for the way the smallest ambiguity in wording makes me flinch. I meant to fix the pressure plate on my protective walls some time ago to keep them from flying up around me, shutting you out every time I see the possibility of smoke. But the last man that lived here left deeper burns in the ground than the one that came before, and sometimes the wrong wording opens sinkholes. I am still learning not to run. You see, I have ignored the warnings before. Now every hello sounds like the screeching of tires right before the impact. I realize I can be unusually hard to hold on to, and this is not a virtue, not an attractive quality. It takes patience most do not have to love a flower that would rather wilt than risk burning in the sunlight. I'm sorry that the instruction manual does not contain the most necessary instruction, like how the fastest way to coax the blooms back open when I have gone silent out of nowhere is to tell me you still want me. I promise that the colors I could show you are like none you've ever seen before, that they are worth the time, that in the right hands I could grow fields of the rarest orchids. I know it's hard to believe when the only thing in your hands is a bare stem, but the roots are strong. I have been waiting for the right soil, for the hands that feel the gentlest. I know I could make your life so much more beautiful with the right care. I know I could take your breath away. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Noelia
That
Cerner.
is
Shut up! I adore you. I adore you. Yeah.
Hey, shut up!
Noelia Cerna, make sure you go give her a follow. Noelia, you can put your info into the chat so the people can go give you a follow. Representing Pandemic Poets. We love us some Noelia here. All right, let's keep it moving. Mr. Michael Sindler is next. We loving the hair and we loving the beard and we loving the poetry. My man, let the good folks know where they need to go spend some time, and then we ready for you to spend your time with us. We ready for your poetry, brother.
Okay, well, it's always time to go to lighthousewriters.org, but it's especially time now because Wednesday they're going to drop registration for Lit Fest, which starts the beginning of June, which is like 2 weeks of pure heaven for writers. So go to lighthousewriters.org and check it out. I am going to do a piece that I wrote for a wonderful event that Dane Ince put together for women and children in Ukraine. And this is called Besieged. Little girl, little more than a toddler, scrambles through rubble, searching for family in still hot crater, history of home in 1,000 pieces, future dark as soot-caked wall. Older girl from adjacent building, hungry pup howling at her heel, pulls child from fruitless labor, shows her to relative safety, offers her tea and a tattered picture book, mends the little one's wounds. Still tank barrel rises from the golden field, smoke escaping from twisted metal, wafts from wreckage. Old veterans, battle hardened long ago in Afghanistan, know how Russia's army fights, know how it was defeated, use what they learned far away to protect their home from invasion. Dire whining clamor drowns out barking, mewling, and wailing as concussive salvos shake the foundations of bunker. Tired mother pulls children close, soothes with songs of innocence, wipes eyes, changes diapers, fills bottles not with milk but gasoline, torn rag topped, ready to be tossed towards mercenaries. What cannot be changed must be endured, but this must change, will change, is changing. The world sees a catastrophe, a massacre. The world must move against the madman. Ukraine will not stand alone. Ukraine will stand. Mothers will once again fill bottles with milk, raise children with hope in golden fields under blue skies. Thank you all very much.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Mr. Michael Sindler.
Beautiful.
Always, bro, Michael. Always.
Thank you, Michael.
Michael Sindler, make sure you go check out lighthousewriters.org, which he likes to promote all the time. Oh, is that Mr. Speaker? Growing a goatee? Oh, looking great, brother. Looking great. It's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Make sure you go check out lighthousewriters.org. Michael Sindler is always promoting them over there. He is a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. And listen, we love us some Michael, and we also love us this next poet. We always have to give the warning about the mommy and daddy language because sometimes this poet goes into that. But then sometimes she flips it on us and is just so giving of her soul. And that is Marissa Prada, who we forgive for being a Green Bay Packers fan. Marissa, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then you got 2 minutes to rock out. A pleasure to see you, sis.
What's up, Advocate? Hey, New Yo. Happy anniversary. Come find me, Red or Green Books. We have 15 new books launching this summer, as well as an LGBTQ anthology where all the proceeds are going to fund the men's and them erotic anthology. So come find me there. Marissa Prada, Facebook, Prada Painting and Poetry on IG. This is for the ladies. My vagina, Mrs. Light. See, she has to wait every year for that one special day. Just the thought of that cold, hard metal speculum. Oh, and that tiny plastic scraping spatula gets her all riled up. Crinkling white featherweight paper blanket, the doctor enters with her perfect mascara again, says, lay back, butt down. The sound of those foot stirrups clink, man, there's nothing like it. The expectation, the tantra of the entire operation, standing ovation for this current ovulation, the light is on its way. Just give me one good thrust. Nothing like an annual pelvic exam. Hands gloved up with a snap of the wrist, waiting in anticipation. Lube goes all over her hand. My doctor has the best hands. Nothing like the feel of blue nitrile gloves, just a tad too large for her fingers, wrinkling at the ends. And with a pop, she places that speculum right up my special purpose and spreads me like Noah. Her name is Nora. And there it is, sunshine at last. My pussy in her Hawaiian shirt and sun hat, hair fluttering in the breeze, toes in the sand, margarita in her hand, followed by gooey glove, fingered love. They go to town on my corridor. I have to close my eyes and breathe. Remember, keep it professional as darkness gives way to light, radically amazed by her swift vaginal doctor skills. And in just a moment, it is over. The pressure is gone, and so is she. Goodbye, speculum and scraping spatula. Goodbye, natural gloves and gooey lube. Goodbye, paper white blanket and sunlight. See you again next year. Happy anniversary, Nuyo. Love you.
Unmute yourself and give some noise for Marissa.
Wow, that was remarkable.
Yay, that was nice.
Cervical cancer.
Back.
What am I supposed to say after that? But other than follow Marissa Prada. This is why we forgive her for being the Green Bay Packers fan. Make sure you give her a follow. She does other open mics as well and publishes books, works with other authors. We have a lot of people in the community who got their hands in a lot of cookie jars. No pun intended after that. And Marissa Prada is one of those people, so make sure that you go and you give her a follow. All right, if y'all feeling like maybe this community has a cult-like feeling, it is because of this next man, and that is my man, Nick Paleologos. Nick, let the good folks know where they can follow our cult leader online, and then give us some words of wisdom, brother. A pleasure to have you as always.
Pleasure to be back here, y'all. Real Nick PIG, Facebook Nick Paleologos. I'll be in person in Jersey in Red Bank tomorrow, so hit me on one of those and you'll get the details. This is for y'all. This is called Two's a Couple, Three's a Riot, and More's a Festival. If you know the chant, say it. One of us. One of us. One of us becomes 2 times 2 years of nightly chaos, running more than 100 times, double the fun, triple the energy of this festival of a cult, community. What we have grown from broken irises to tough roses, from single flowers to a garden. When we grow, we all bloom. When we wilt, we grow back in threes. It's a magic number after all. We are products of Bruja's cauldron and Advocate's words. With this energy, we added to the magic, grow more flowers for more one of us chants. More new voices, more new people, more poetry, more sharpening of our irons into one of the biggest online festivals for all to see. So even if you or I aren't here, know that our voices will be heard with each one of us, with each voice you've touched, until this festival is filled with everyone and one of us becomes all of us. Care to join us? Happy anniversary, New Yo. Peace.
One of us.
Happy anniversary,
Mr. Nick Paleologos, like I said, this community really built this community. It was not just me, it was not just Bruja, it was this community, and that the charm we have and the little things we have is because it's been created by people in this community. And if you ever come to one of our events and you hear people chanting one of us, it is because Nick Paleologos, our cult leader, had started it. He also tricked us into signing up for his cult as well with one of his poems. He had the audience repeat him. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just trying to be polite, and now we're part of the cult. Nick Paleologos at the real Nick P. Make sure that you give him a follow. And Thursday night was mentioned. On Thursday nights, La Bruja hosts the online open mic, and on Thursdays, this is where our next poet was. And then she said, you know what, all right, I'll try out on Monday. And she tasted Monday, and she's like, oh, I love it, I'm gonna come back to Mondays as well. And that is the Bronx's own Roz Diaz. And that background right there, you see of her, that's her book. Make sure you get it. Roz, where can they find you and your book online? And then we are ready to hear you. It is a pleasure to see you as always, sis.
Likewise, happy anniversary, guys. I can't believe it's been 2 years, but do her big brown eyes on Instagram. Hit me up, follow me, show me some love. I am going to share with you a piece that I wrote about 30 minutes before this started, so bear with me. It's called Corresponding with Ghosts, and it's a prompt from a group on Facebook, and it goes like this. The goal is to stop being haunted, chased by old versions of herself, the versions that tempted her to lash out, to isolate, to survive, versions that kept her up at night. She is haunted by stereotypes, all that she does not want to be, cycles that she does not want to repeat, not accepting defeat, not becoming that empty shell she came to know as love, not becoming the cold shoulder she once laid her head on. The challenge is escaping the ghost story without becoming the haunted house. Half wanting to run, other half wanting to figure it out. She is haunted, aching for the road to be less battle and more journey, fearing to look in the mirror only to see history repeat itself mercilessly, corresponding with ghosts in an attempt to break free. Please let go. Sincerely, me. End poem.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Roz.
Yeah, Roz.
Really amazing.
That was lit.
30-30.
Woo! Thank you.
Roz Diaz, a mainstay on the Monday night online open mic, a mainstay on the Thursday night online open mic, a mainstay within the New Yorican community. Make sure you go give her a follow at Instagram at Through Her Big Brown Eyes, and on her website, throughherbigbrownyes.com. And that is where you're going to be able to find all that information to see her book. Isn't her cover awesome? I love it. I love that color scheme. It's like light, like behind her, right? Like, I'm loving it. Make sure you go pick that up. All right, next coming up is our man who likes to improv and freestyle, but he's got to keep it to a minimum because we only got 2 minutes. All the way out in D.C., my man Ed Foreman, better known as Ed Poetastic. Brother, a pleasure to see you again. Let the folks know where they can find you online, and then you got 2 minutes to rock out, man.
Man, you can find me on Mondays and Thursdays on Neo, woo, with the heart of gold. Okay. My name is Ed Potato. You're feeling fantastic. Please give me time to the drum and rhyme for all you feel sublime. This is called Happy Anniversary. Neo's the place to be. Neo's the open seas. Neo's the buzzing bees. Neo's the strongest tree. Neo's the freshest free. Neo's the golden key. Neo's the refreshing tea. Neo's the iron decree. Neo's the jumpiest flea. Neo's the coolest goatee. Neo's the wildest spree. Neo's one. Neo isn't 1, 2, or 3. Neo's the prize vote fees. Neo is him, her, you, and me. Neo's everything we all can agree. Neo's all the above. It's we. Come and see. Neo's the place to be. I wholeheartedly guarantee. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for
That was
Fantastic.
lit. I like that.
Fire,
You ready?
inspired.
Ooh.
Fucking high wires.
To unpack right there. I
A
love it.
rhyme technician right there.
Nuyo is the strongest tree. I love that. And Poetastic, make sure you go give him a follow. Once again, poets, make sure you check out the chat. People are saying nice things about you. Everyone, of course, you could put all your social media handle in there so that people could give you a follow. And next coming up, speaking of social media, a person who used to run the social media, the New Rican Poets Cafe, who used to work, I'm in the basement of the cafe right now, in the cave of the cafe, and she knows it very well because she used to work here. And even when she left to go on to bigger and better things, she still came and hung out with the community. And that is Emily Cordes, who is very much involved with the New York going online, including these open mics. Emily, it's a pleasure to see you. Let the folks know where they can find you online and find out about your play, which I heard was sold out and very successful. Congratulations and all that good stuff. But let them know where they can find you online, and it's your turn to light it up, sis.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. Happy anniversary, fam. I am postmodern.psyche on Instagram, Emily Cordes on Facebook. And this here is a tribute to the lady who helped us start up these online open mics and make them all possible, and who is continually breathing new life into the place. This is called Ding Dong, the Witch is Here. Once upon a not so distant time, in a city built on water and unceded sacred ground, a plague ravaged the land, and tempests ripped through. Our sanctuaries lay silent, remote as emerald citadels, glittering in our memories, kept guarded by tiny men who hid behind curtains. And the people hid too, in their homes, scared and lonely, as rigid as tin men, as hollow as scarecrows, as fearful as lions forgetting their roar. So they wrapped their prayers in poetry and cast them into cyberspace like messages in bottles, or the voices of the drowning beseeching La Caridad. And Yamaya Ioshun heard their cries and sent down a good witch from the north of Manhattan. With glittery eyeshadow and her little dog too, she came down in her bubble, bestowing enchantments, magic herbaceous brownies, sacred sexy raccoon bones, masks inscribed with protective spells, dances and songs con ritmos de las islas, and 1,000 magic words that could soothe broken hearts, or call forth the ancestors, or make tyrants retreat, laughed down off their pedestals. Fueled by love and strong coffee, she wasted no time. She broke out the sage, put dark spirits to flight, ejecting false wizards, reminding the arrogant their powers don't work here, taking our land back, reclaiming our artifacts, scraping away years of anguish and paint flecks, elevating El Indio, glory restored. And with just a word, the doors swung back open, channel for the community, and a portal through which the founders could whisper back and forth across the ages, inspiring our dreams as we manifest theirs. So strap on your rubies and head down toward B and C. Walk the yellow brick road to that mural-decked door. Click your heels and remember that home is inside, where the priestess of poetry reigns from on high, descending on stage, intoning her credo. We are not poor, but rico, in divine eyes, all equal. Sing it high, sing it low, from the pews to the steeple. Let them know that the good witch is here. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up, family.
Great job.
Send that to Gotti ASAP.
That's
Brilliant.
dope. Let's go.
Has not responded to any of her emails. Be professional, La Bruja. Not even.
I give it up for Emily Cordes. Yeah, you could give her a follow at Postmodern Psyche. She is a mainstay member here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic and the New York Cafe. And if you look at Curly Headed Ninny, he is putting her book in his camera. Make sure that you go give Emily a follow. All right. Next coming up is a man with the curveball. He be throwing curveballs, and that is the withdrawn, the wild card. Wait, where is he? Oh, there he goes. There he goes. I'm loving how the beard's coming in, by the way, brother. I'm loving how the beard's coming in. The wild card. We never know what we're going to get from him. I be telling people, yo, prepare for the dirty, and then he gets all nice, soft, and so vulnerable. And I say, yo, this man could be really nice, soft, and vulnerable, and then he flips it. Brother, I don't know what you're going to do. Just let the folks know they can find you online, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Y'all can follow me at The Withdrawn on Instagram and thewithdrawn.com. And this is new shit. This piece is called 2 Years of Y'all Putting Up With My Shit. Thank you. First things first, I would like to say happy 2-year anniversary. What's been breathed in this space has become so celestial, it is no longer considered earthly. I'm glad the people I call family get to witness me grow and be free. But don't act like I won't turn my camera off mid-mic to grow and be freaky. Now let me stop, because Advocate wants us to show our beautiful faces. Hashtag facts, a poet's nut can paint eyes on the prettiest of faces. Some people don't shoot for Netflix. They barely even stream. I don't come in one shot. It's more like anime splurts for me. You know, like the over-exaggerated blood. We don't do placebo, so no over-exaggerated buzz. As Jay said, you will drink from me with purpose. You'll see the water you consume will one day be worthless. Somehow you're convinced death's not possible, stocked up on it. Little do you know, nut is what's gonna help you survive a zombie apocalypse. 11 years strong, we live for the Walking Dead. If getting chased mid-blowjob, I expect you to run while still giving me head. I would abso-freaking-lutely do the same for you. Legs around my head, getting away from the danger boo. If we perish, I'm hoping my face is at least well seasoned. Funny how you'll nut and die, both from getting eaten. I'll try to stay alive and not leave crumbs behind this meal. It'll calm me down during death, because you got that chamomile. There was nowhere else I'd want to be. Not cremated, not underground buried 6 feet. Leave me right there, head between both legs. Leftovers laid out for the culture vultures to get fed. This that wild card imagination where crazy is how I might seem. But it's really just me acting up, because I ain't eat coochie all week. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for the withdrawn.
I don't know how you do that.
That's dope. Always dope. Always.
That was good.
I think Mia Aguilera said it best. Shout out to Mia, by the way, she said it best in the chat. Like, this is tender and obscene. But that's the withdrawn for you. Make sure you go give him a follow. Check out his website, thewithdrawn.com. I love this community. Give him a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. And next coming coming up is a gentleman who is also a mainstay here representing the West Coast, and that is my man, Elemental. Brother, a pleasure to see you. I appreciate you being loud and obnoxious after all of our poets rock out and giving love. I'm ready to give you love, man. Let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then the floor is yours, man.
Appreciate you, Advocate. Shout out the best host in the Zoom verse, Advocate of Words with a Z, because, you know, poetic license. Get that dude to follow. He's the dopest. You can find me, elemental.com. I'm getting into it real quick. Storm Gods in the building. To every one of y'all, I love all of y'all, man. This is Think Twice. This evolution music, such a nuisance, so gangstar, part guru, part premier, all fear incarnate, raucous, resident revolutionary, so Amiri with that Baraka, Darth Vader with iron lungs, straight dark side lightsaber behavior with beams of ink, speak so dangerous on holy ground, say grace, this confessional language, pulpit gospel on virtual soapboxes, make colossal of Mondays after Sunday ritual, pay homage to this house poetry built, Jedi master skiff, whiskey, spritz, spit fuego, ward off evil spirits, cleanse the stage. We gamma rays, make monsters of physicians, not to mention inhumans. See lunas as family reunion. We love train with this message and methods on liquid pages that woo, tang, diversify your brain and protect your neck from hyenas. They swing swords, we wield sustinas. Demeanor strangely favor royalty. We loyally become conduits through which creativity finds new ways to Rubik's these cubes into community. We hybrid advocates and pleasant gestures that reach far beyond any signal or distance. Band of misfits, Tez talk recipients to Diane Ward, these Jane spoken words to this church of one of us. We so usual suspects, withdrawn like Osos and storms and monsoons, with thunderous lungs like warrior women and men who heal with ties to underground sound like tempest bells and love letters to Gaia. From Jersey, BX to the Bay, 757 Hurricane Alley, Green Bay to Storm Lake. My days used to be suffocating, drowning in seas of regret, but now I'm breathing with all the fire that besets the heart of a pure blood dragon. Thanks to all of you. Cheers and blessings for year 2. Peace.
Yo, mute yourself. Give it up, Elemental.
That is how you do it.
Yeah.
Bring it.
That's smart. That was good.
Make sure you go give him a follow, Elemental. You can check out his website, elemental.com. When you spell elemental, you take the T out, you put the number 2 in. My man, I cannot wait till you get to the East Coast. Go give that dude a follow. He is fire and he stays giving love. I appreciate that. He is a creator and a connoisseur of the word. I love it. I love it. All right, let's keep this moving. Next coming up is Claudia, who I love her background. One of the newest mainstay members of the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Also killing it at the workshop. Claudia, let the good folks know where they can find you online. And then the floor is yours, sis.
Thank you. You guys can find me on Instagram at cap.rights, and I'll drop my link tree in the chat afterwards. This piece is brand new, first time I'm sharing it. I wrote it at a workshop hosted by Amanda Villanueva, so shout out to her, thank you. And all right, let's get into it. I was very young when I first realized that I am inhabiting a body. When I realized the bodies around me are also filled to the brim with stories, thoughts, secrets. When I realized that with each sleep, we gain the slightest bit of more space for more stories, thoughts, secrets. When I realized that losing sleep is losing space. I was already full to the brim, and with every night I lost more sleep. I broke. I was very young when I first realized that turning off my body was impossible. I would get in too much trouble. When I realized these stories, thoughts, secrets will have to stay with me forever until my body turns off on its own. There's no space for my voice outside these 4 walls, outside of my shrinking self. These four walls have watched me unravel like torn pantyhose, thread by thread, then all at once. And these four walls have watched me stitch myself back together again, page by page, by page, by page. I was very young when I first realized that writing is rest for my soul. When I realized writing is where I put my stories, thoughts, secrets, and make way for more and more. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Claudia, y'all.
Claudia, that was gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Claudia.
For blessing us
Work.
with that.
Oh, Claudia.
True writer spirit.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
One of the newest mainstay members of the community. Make sure that you go give Claudia a follow. Also at cap.rights, as in right, W-R-I-T-E-S. Make sure you go give her a follow. And make sure everyone, after you perform too, make sure you put your info into the chat so that people can follow. All right, this is the part of the show where I like to introduce the sung hero of the community. And that is the man behind the scenes, the producer, Mr. Ron Mark Thompson. Ron, unmute yourself. Let the good folks know where they can find you online. And my man, we would not have made it to 2 years without your help. Are you down with RMT? Yeah, you know me. Ron Mark Thompson.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and I don't know if I would have made it the last 2 years with the New Oregon Poets Cafe and everyone here in the online community. So I thank you for this, for getting me through the pandemic, all the good friends I made here during the pandemic. I will put in the chat where you can follow me, myself and my organization, but I want to point out three other things. First, as Advocate already mentioned earlier, this Saturday is the hybrid open mic at 7 p.m. at the New Oregon Poets Cafe, and right there, hosted by himself. And at 9:30 p.m., Paul Concasso will host the next karaoke after party, which I will produce as well. So please come on out if you can make it. I put the tickets link. You can either join us in person or online. And then there is one more thing I want to mention, because it is National Poetry Month. Both Advocate and myself will be hosting programs at the New York Public Library. I will be hosting one 3 weeks from this week, but this week on Wednesday, April 6th, 6 p.m., 2 days, two evenings from tonight. At 6 p.m., Advocate of Wordz will host a poetry writing workshop in person at the Yorkville Library. You don't have to register. All you have to do is come. Masks are optional. There is no online portion to it. I advocated for it, but the library didn't allow it for that specific program. So come on site if you can make it. It's definitely worthwhile. All right, so on that note, let me go to the next performer. Scott Pleasance, are you here? I'm going to ask you to unmute. Here we go, and let me introduce Scott, who I met online at the New Oregon Poets Cafe, but in person I had the pleasure to meet him at last year's New York City Poetry Festival at Governor's Island, where he recognized me. I didn't recognize him, but ever since, I'm so glad we see each other at so many events. And Scott is also the wonderful writer of this book, Every Day Can Be a Sunny Day. That's the prediction of Scott Pleasance. Scott, I'm so glad you're here. Happy second anniversary with us here. Go ahead, introduce yourself to everyone who may not know you yet, and then go ahead with your 2-minute poem.
All right, cool, Ron. I appreciate it, man, and I appreciate the introduction. You did better than Advocate, man. I'm just saying, man. Okay, so for the Monday night online open mic second anniversary, I will remain a bit traditional and offer this 2-minute gift. My gift is a thought wrapped in an idea and elegantly tied with ribbons of words and sentences that meticulously form a bow made of purpose and prose. My gift is a four-sided facsimile that is held together by raw emotions and imaginations that have journeyed to the depths of your soul and soared way above the stars into places that very few are allowed to visit and many are still unable to see, all the while simply laying somewhere behind the lobe of the globe called your mind. My gift is soft and plush, but it can be hard and coarse. It's light when it's dark, and it can be cold when it's hot. It's young and old, but aged to perfection. It's fast and slow, but always, always waits at the intersection of love and life. My gift is the energy in the storm, gods, that rattles the thunder lungs, and the serenity in so many voices of intellect and rebellion that have laid dormant in the body of a bag attached to a backpack that, when unzipped, spills from the edge of the ledge until the words find their way, and the perpetual motion of creativity allows them to stay here. My gift is healing and certainly empowering. It's the placing of a crown and holding of a staff while sitting on thrones. Like I said in the beginning, I come bearing gifts, and tonight I simply offer the Monday night community the gift that keeps on giving. It's a thought wrapped in an idea and tied with a ribbon of words that is shared in this space with your permission. And when you open it, it's called a poem. Happy anniversary.
All right, everybody, please unmute yourself. Give a big round.
Way to go, Scott.
Genius. It's good to hear you again, Scott. So good to hear you again.
Yes,
Scott.
Very pleasant.
Dope, man. Always dope.
Amazing, amazing. Yes, he came bearing gifts. He is such an amazing contribution to our community. Again, his book, Every Day Can Be a Sunny Day. And I forgot to mention, since we talked about Nick's contribution of One of Us, Scott was the one we called his gesture, a Scott Pleasance gesture, if somebody of us gives up his or her spot to have somebody else perform. So thank you so much, Scott, for being here with us on the 2nd anniversary. And we hope to see you at Hybrid Karaoke or the New York City Poetry Festival. Thanks so much, Scott. All right, coming up next, we have another mainstay here. Oh no, and he left. He was here earlier, Thomas Corner. I don't see you here. If you come back, let me know. Okay, so that means I'm gonna have to go to the next person, Gustav. Let me unmute yourself. Go ahead. And Gustav, I don't have the geography sense of our amazing host advocate here, but I believe you are zooming in from Florida. Yay! So this is what makes the New Regan Poets Cafe. The pandemic made us national and international, and that's what we really like. So I'm so glad you're with us here on our 2nd anniversary. Please stay with us. I want to see you on our 3rd anniversary next year as well. Gustav, you know how it goes. Introduce yourself, and then today 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Cheers. This is radical self-expression. Walk in the turbulence of Finnegan's wake while hypermaterialism's foundations shake. Wormholes riddle the holographic universe in Arcadia ego as revealed in verse. Logos, codons are DNA inspired, in flesh-born form, no longer mired. The truths in our designer genes. If you know what all this means, come home to New York's conflagration, our burning words, our initiation into a world of infinite imagination, recapitulating the spark of all creation. 'Tis true that as above, so below, we are all stars, just watch us glow, like beacons through man's twilight. Amidst the chaos lies our delight. The kingdom of heaven is in our hearts. Our souls are mapped on galactic charts. So let's get down and astronauty. It's time to shit or get off the potty. Drink from the void, the elixir of immortality. Evolve the one from the duality. To realize the monism of the Trinity. No longer denying our own divinity. Achieve the old alchemical self immortal. One giant leap through the galactic portal. A future memory of what we have always been, angels of light, free of all sin. Happy anniversary.
Unmute yourselves and give it up to Gustav.
Yeah, Gustav. It's good to hear you again.
Gustavus.
So naughty.
Gustavus. Gustavus. Gustavus.
Gustavus, one of us. Gustav Salas, make sure you give him a follow. A mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic representing Florida. I love that dude. Thank you, Gustav. Got so much energy. I love it. And of course, shout out to Scott Pleasance. I enjoyed his poem as well. A mainstay here. Great Scott. We have a pleasant gesture. As Ron had mentioned, we got that from Mr. Scott Pleasance. Also, one more time, I'm going to ask everyone to unmute themselves so we can make some noise for our sung hero, Mr. Ron Mark Thompson. Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Ron, y'all.
RMT, yeah, you know me.
You make it happen.
We love you, Ron.
What you doing there, bro? Thank you.
I love you.
Definitely down with RMT. In fact, I hit up Ron, right? Because I said, hey, Ron, I'm going to hold a spot for you. Could rock out tonight? And he said, no. Great Scott, I smell a pleasant gesture coming on. And that's why we are going to hear from Terry Rose Jertson later on. He was like, no, Terry tried to get on. I'm going to give her my spot. Mr. Ron Mark Thompson, I appreciate you, brother. Once again, thank you to Gustav Salas. Love your energy. I'm so happy you're part of this community. And, of course, to Scott Pleasance. Even though I had stepped away, I had my phone with me. I kept on the Zoom so I can make sure you heard it. And I'm going to forgive you for that comment, Mr. Scott Pleasance, that you preferred Ron's introduction. That's okay. I see you. I love Ron though, so I can't be mad at that. All right, let's keep it moving. As y'all see, I am wearing the new hat today, my Yankee hat, because I am coach of the Yankees Little League team that my son is on, and y'all know I'm about my hats. And this next poet is about her hats, and I love it. And that is Mariah. Mariah, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then we ready for that fire, sis.
Hello, y'all. This piece, it's called Cherry Bomb. This is for the folks with fat bodies that were told that your art would never be valid until your stories were hollowed out. I signed up with the gym. I was asked when signing up what I was looking for, and I said I was looking for freedom of movement that doesn't make me a slave to capitalism. And he was like, so endurance? And I was like, okay, yeah, that. But I realized I already had the endurance to run. If artists try to capitalize off your body, run. Capitalize off my blackness, run. Capitalize off my queerness, run. Capitalize off my womanness, run. Capitalize off my thinness, but my body isn't thin, so there wasn't anything to capitalize off of yet. I loved eating what I call cherry bombs at Holston's Ice Cream Parlor. It was an ice cream soda with real cherries in the vanilla ice cream, cherry soda, whipped cream, rainbow sprinkles, and a maraschino cherry as a crown. Y'all, it was popping. Well, like the slang popping, not the virginity cherry popping. You cherry picked the stories of my Black queer woman body that made my story easier for you to swallow. Popping cherries, I am not a virgin to fat phobia. I had a thin white woman, an artist, tell me she was trying to help me with restricting, binging, purging. I ran out of money for my binges, and when you run out of money for food, you steal. I stole food from grocery stores, gas stations, and places I'm too ashamed to talk about. But it was only a matter of time before I got caught stealing while Black, while queer, while woman. And so my laxative addiction almost killed my stories, but I'm alive to tell you, if artists try to put you on a diet and say they are trying to help you, run. Tell them they're fat phobic and to say it with their chest, run. This is for the folks with fat bodies that were told that your art would never be valid until your stories were hollowed out. Run, run, run. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Mariah.
Run,
Mariah.
Run.
Holy shit.
That was fire.
Good job.
Made it.
Yeah.
Give it up for Mariah. Make sure that you go give her a follow on Instagram, a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. We love her hats and we love her poetry and I love her energy. Make sure that you go and give her a follow. Mariah. Okay, while it's quiet upstairs, we are going to get to our next poet in a second. The Urban Cowboy Poet is back. I'm super excited about him. But of course, we had some people show up late. This is the 2-year anniversary of the Monday Night Online Online Open Mic. We've been doing this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and now Twitter. I'm going to have to add that to the cards. If you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube, you can check us out and join us on Zoom, 279-995-364. Make sure you come and give us a holler, hang out with the poets. You could also give me a follow on Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube at Advocate of Wordz. And when you spell words, that's with a Z at the end, because poetic license. Our sign-up list tonight is closed. Sign-up begins 24 hours before the show on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. To sign up, you would visit nuyorican.org and click full events calendar. After doing so, you would click the Monday that you were signing up for. Next week would be the 11th, and you would get an artist RSVP ticket. It is the only way to get onto the open mic list, getting that artist RSVP ticket. Now, because we have been doing this for so long, because we've had such a beautiful community, we really want to, I know that we're documenting this and putting it on YouTube and Facebook, but this is a literary community, a literary organization, so we are going to make a book. This is the working title, the Anthology Online Open Mic. We're going to have a different title. One of the titles that I'm really leaning towards is Good Night, Sweet Poet. I forgot who had suggested that. A few of you actually suggested that, but we don't know what the title is going to be yet. So here's how it's going to work, and all of the information is going to go up tomorrow on all the social media of mine and the New York Poets Cafe. You're going to be able to submit up to 5 original poems that you have shared on either a Monday or Thursday night online open mic. And you're going to email it to me, and I'm going to put my email in all the social media so people can reach out. All styles and languages are going to be accepted. Now, before we were saying the poem must have been read on or prior to April 4th. We're doing away for that. The deadline is going to be sometime in June or July. We don't know yet, but of course, like a month out, we will let you know. Right now, it's just opening tomorrow. That is when you can start sending it. Actually, at midnight tonight, Eastern time, if you want to send it. With each poem that you send, the 5 poems that you send, what has to be included in it is the date that you performed or read the poem, whether it's on the Monday or a Thursday night online open mic. Now, let's say that you've edited your poem since you have performed it on the Monday night or Thursday night. Maybe the original poem is a little bit longer than what you had read. That is fine. We're not checking word for word, but we do want to make sure that you have read the poem on the Monday or Thursday night online open mic. All of this information is going to be posted online. We're going to put all of the information, the rules on there, so there will be no confusion, because I know right now you are glued to the screen and you're not writing any of this information down. Totally acceptable. Do not worry about it. I'd also like to talk about the workshop that I'm hosting on Sundays here at the cafe and through Zoom. Let's write a book of poems. We have been doing it since March 13th. We have had 4 weeks in a row of doing it. We do it from Sundays from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern, and it is getting intense. We are doing writing. We are about to start doing editing the week after Easter, and then later on we are going to be doing formatting. At this last workshop, we spoke just a little bit about the formatting and a little bit about what the kind of if you need to get a lawyer, what your rights are in terms of publishing, in terms of what kind of publishing houses to look for, what to be aware of. And Mariela Salazar, who is a lawyer out in the UK, had chimed in with some information. All of this information can be found on nuyorican.org. It is $18 per class, but you could bundle it. And if you want to buy 4 classes in advance, it's $60, which breaks it down to $15 per class. If you want to get a bundle of 8 classes, then that means that it would be $12 a class. We are going to be doing this all year long, and I think that I made some enemies last night because people caught carpal tunnel with all the type of writing we're doing it. It's been super challenging though. So far, a lot of great feedback, and we have just begun. So make sure you check that out. Also, I would like to mention this Saturday, the hybrid open mic. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. In terms of people signing up to perform inside the cafe, you would sign up at the door. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. We only have about 10, 11 slots open. Make sure that you get there early. A little bit later within this open mic, I'm going to have you hit up. Don't do it yet. I'm gonna have you hit up Ron Mark Thompson so you could sign up if you want to be part of the Zoom portion of the open mic with the hybrid open mic. I'm super excited about this. As you can see on the left-hand side of the screen right now, Ray Jane is up there. That was a picture from Abraham Cardona. He takes pictures at these events, and you can see people who join us on Zoom. We project you onto the big screen here at the cafe. It's like a cinematic experience for us inside the cafe. It is awesome. If you were in the tri-state area and you could get down here, I highly suggest you get down here. I have so much fun with it. And then right afterwards, we keep mentioning, we have our karaoke after party hosted by our own Paul Conqueso, the man troops all the way from New Jersey just to do this. So make sure that you come. And last month was wild. The karaoke was wild. Listen, you don't want to come to hybrid? Fine, so be it. But like, you got to come to the karaoke. It got wild. That's all I can say, right? That's all I can say is I got wild. With that being said, we are now going to our next poet who we haven't heard from in a while, and I'm so happy to have him here, and that is the Urban Cowboy Poet. He has returned! Brother, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then you've got 2 minutes to tell us a legend, a tale. Go ahead, brother.
You can find me there, Urban Cowboy Poetry, YouTube and Facebook. I'm all about the hat too. I got 2 new hats in Mexico. I came back 2 weeks ago. I lost one of them already. That's why I get 2. In the last 2 years, I became the Urban Cowboy Grandpa Poet. Happy anniversary. 2-minute legend. Okay. Son of a gun. May 12, 1863 was the day of a battle between the blue and the gray when a young Union soldier got in the way of a bullet that shot through his testicle. He got help from a medic. He was hurting like hell. Then off in the distance, he heard a faint yell. The bullet had lodged in a sweet southern belle, in her womb, if you want to get technical. The shot planted his seed and began to reshape her. This marvel was writ up in a scholarly paper by the attendant field surgeon named L.G. Capers. Life grew from ballistic inception. Tell us who did this, her parents kept urging. She stuck to her story that she was a virgin. This were confirmed by the Confederate surgeon. Immaculate was her conception. The gal met the Yankee whose baby she carried. They soon fell in love, and then they got married. He stayed with his family till the day he was buried. 'Twere a miracle that shooting had done. Them were our nation's most god-awful days. Brother killing brother, blues against grays. The Lord had done worked in mysterious ways to unite warring tribes with his son. Now, Dr. Capers, a Confederate colonel, reported this case in a medical journal about a Civil War projectile acting paternal. Had his peers and his editors been had? The doc later claimed that he wrote it in fun, but the medical world swore the deed had been done. If you ask me, little grandchild, that son of a gun was your grandpappy's great-great-granddad. Thank you very much. Happy anniversary.
Unmute yourself and give it up for the Urban Cowboy Poet.
Welcome back, Urban Cowboy Poet. Yeah.
Gracias.
Thank you.
The Urban Cowboy Poet, we missed you. I hope all is well with you. It was a pleasure to have you on again, joining us for the anniversary. The Urban Cowboy Poet, telling the legendary tales. This man's a legend. I love having him on. And I'm loving the hats too. I thought that was really funny. He's got to get 2 hats because he always loses one. Sounds a lot like me. The Urban Cowboy Poet, check him out on YouTube. Next coming up is Marilee Johnson. Let me unmute Marilee Johnson, who also joined us at the workshop this past weekend, and I don't think she hates me too much. Marilee, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then you got 2 minutes to share your poetry. A pleasure to see you.
Pleasure to see you too. I'm going to beg off the location. I don't even have any posts on Instagram yet, so I should probably get something there before I let it out. So this time, well, I guess I would also like to say happy anniversary to everyone, and thank you to Advocate and Ron. And I think we all have our testimonials about the difference this has made in our lives, and it's been great to have this opportunity. So thank you very much. So I have more than one haiku this time. I know that's shocking. This one was in response to a prompt on the 3030 Poetry Facebook page. The prompt was table scraps. One-man kitchen band, pots, pans, overturned pails, no seat at the table. This is also a response to a prompt from 3030. The prompt was conversing with ghosts. I high-five my ghost, creativity made flesh. A stage is the world. Unmasked. I accept you as the person you are, sans mask, at least to your face. I awoke with dread, imagining the headline, Zelensky is dead. This is called Hairdresser. I usually do a little bit with my hair and try to do some actions, but I'm kind of constricted tonight. So I hate hairdressers. What they do behind my back lies on the lip floor. And the last one, bike ride. First bike ride, a hill. I careened down toward a pond. How do you stop this? Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Marilee Johnson.
Clever. I was glad.
You're
That
such a
was
gem,
that was nice. That was
You
nice.
are a
Like-
gem.
I love that haiku about the hairdressers. Marilee Johnson, she's going to get her act together with her social media handles and then she will share it with us. But right now, you want to see more of her, you come to the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Marilee, thank you so much for being part of this community. I appreciate you greatly. Next, coming up is another poet we appreciate greatly. And even though, she got the name Vexed in it, sometimes she's like a wild card herself and then gives us some ultra loving when she gets her hair did and she's all in love. And then sometimes when we think she has gotten past being angry, she gives us the Vex stuff. So I don't know what we're going to get, except I know it's going to be good. Vex Lex, sis, let the folks know they can find you online and then we ready for your 2 minutes.
All right, thank you. Vex Lex Poetry on Instagram. And Wild Poets, y'all got 17-year-old Vex Lex. Here's 19-year-old Vex Lex. Guys and girls. Nowadays, guys are trading in females with class for a shot of some easy ass, and girls are trading in males with a good head for a shot at some good head. Guys are dropping Benjamins and some fresh new kicks and splurging for their chicks on the dollar menu, while girls are dropping their high grades for these downgrades. Guys got these females wondering what's so special about this whole Mary Jane. Girls got these males wondering why their sexuality is switching lanes. Guys always going raw, messing up, getting put down by the law. Girls forgetting this flaw, getting their babies' hopes up over a father they never saw. Guys getting females with their swag, thinking they got it in the bag and losing them when they get their head out of their ass and stack back into reality, because girls are getting males with their breasts and losing them with their personality, because in actuality, relationships continue to sink because of the devotion to materializing, and the notion of criticizing is mistaken as jealousy and envy, because being friendly is a step away from flirting, and deliberately hurting is showing that you care. Yeah, it's twisted, something to keep these people's egos uplifted. How can we make husbands and wives out of these misfits? Because nowadays, guys can do no wrong, girls getting strung along, guys getting led on, girls' feelings getting fed on, because there's an appetite for pain and pleasure, mistaking trash for treasure, recycle the old, dismiss the new, souls residing in the cold, decency remaining in the few. And it's these days that we stray from what is right. Maybe one day we'll learn that ignorance shouldn't get an invite. Thank you.
Unmute yourself, give it up for Vex Lex.
That was awesome.
Teenager.
Oh my
Teenager.
God. All the way the
Coming strong.
Always good to hear your words. Yeah, thank you.
Make sure you give Vex Lex a follow. She's like reading that poem and I'm looking at my girlfriend's Zoom chat. How much are you into that, huh? Are you looking at me as a downgrade? Am I downgrading you? No, Vex, stop reading the poem. Vex Lex Poetry, make Make sure that you go give her a follow, a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and also at our in-person open mic. Vex, you got to come back to the cafe. We want to see you, sis. We miss you. Hope all is well with you. All right, let's keep moving on. Next coming up is a man who is, there he is, a man who at my workshop started to turn into the teacher's assistant with all his brilliant ideas, and that's my man, Mr. Norm Mathematics. I am feeling the hat, brother. You look like you're ready to go. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm ready to hear your stuff. But first, let us know where we can find you online, man. Let us know where we can find you online.
All right, Norm Mathematics. That would be IG Norm_Matics. Normatics on Facebook. Let's go, me dice. A smiling totem. Silence makes me a silent target. Fear used to wear my mouth like a set of false teeth. Fear wore the bully hat. Sometimes fear was my first hero. Sometimes fear was my neighbor's abused son. Sometimes fear is the leader of the dog tribe that wears white hoods. A false belief that my silence keeps the victim's scent from mingling with the foul air sweating off my body. Fear recognized my pheromones like the sound of a lamb's bleat carried on a breeze, blooming into a full-fledged appetizer before the main course. When the words connect with the cartilage and sinew of a conscious mind, I watch fearmongers drop their weapons, melt their armor, dismantle the authority fear had embedded in muscle memory. Without fear in mind, I am not a block of wood. I am a drink of water. Next piece. This is to all of us out here. Verses beneath my skin. A moment in time is an ocean. I am a tear. Someday you may look down, see the elephant crawl through the fence in the palm of your hand. The weight of a pause collects a beat of silence, waiting to stop full before I reverse field. I step out of my face to look behind the mirror. I discover a galaxy beneath my skin. My inward-facing telescope peers over the edge. We exchange internal flames to enlighten the abyss. Concrete softens, hearts melt, molten soul evaporates off a parched desert. Peace.
Unmute yourselves, give it up for Norm Mathematics.
Damn, Norm. Moment process that. That was genius.
Maestro.
Norm Mathematics, make sure you go and you give this man a follow. I love his writing. I love how he presents his writing, how he reads. It's one smooth brother with a great deal of knowledge. A great deal of knowledge. Norm, we appreciate you. We love you being part of this community, man. All right, he burned the mic. I want to take just 60 seconds. Mr. Ron Mark Thompson, are you there? Are you ready? Wait. You ready, Ron? All right, we're about to make Ron the most popular person here in the Zoom chat. If you would like to join us for hybrid, but you are going to be unable to make it to the cafe, and you would like to sign up for the online open mic portion of Zoom at 7 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, April 9th, make sure that you send a message in the Zoom chat to Ron Mark Thompson right now. Let him know. Give him a nice little compliment too. Include your email. Let him know his haircut is looking all types of fly, making you feeling all kinds of things in your body. You want to jump through the screen to grab him because he's looking so good today. And also include your email, and he will let me know, and then I will email you and let you know know if you made it onto the list. Make sure that you sign up. Send it to Ron Mark Thompson in a private message, all right? Not in the public, in the private message, so he can get all of that. Right now, he is going to be Mr. Popular. Going to give a little bit of another 10 seconds. He said no compliments needed. Nah, screw that, Ron. You're Mr. Popular right now. They want to get on this open mic list. They got to butter you up some, man. You're the sung hero of this community. Okay, so you send it to Ron Mark Thompson here in the Zoom chat. Here in the Zoom chat, you can see, if you look up in the people who have their videos on, Ron's video is up. It is the good-looking man with the faux hawk right there. Make sure that you send it to him. Okay. With that being said, we are now going up north to one of our new mainstay members of the Monday Night Online Open Mic. She has been with us for several months now, right? I can't call her new anymore. She's been with us for several months, and that is Christy Scribbles. Christy, a pleasure to have you. Thank you for being part of this community and contributing your wonderful poetry. We love it here. Let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then we're ready for your 2 minutes of goodness.
Okay, yes. Happy anniversary and so glad to be here. I am the Poetry Alchemist on Instagram. Here we go. To be here tonight to celebrate this space, this New Yorkers Cafe place, these people that I have found inside the screens of the Zoom that found me and myself and my poetry and my heart and my words is such a sweet spot. A sweet spot of souls, of poets, of artists, of changers and rearrangers, the call it outers, the say it anywheres. They are always so welcoming and so raw and so real. So real. Did I say real? Because I hate that fake shit, small talk kind of place. But inside this space, I have found my place, my sweet spot place inside me as it finds me in the tears of me. Because you see, for the many years of me, I never felt like I fit, like I belonged, like I was heard. I never felt like I was heard, always outside the norms of the many, hanging out back on the porch with the few. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good porch and I love a good few. And inside this place, I have found more of my few. More turned into many and community did form. Now I feel like I fit, feel like one of the norm. It is a strange feeling, but I like it so much to find these sweet poets in my heart they have touched. And they have inspired, enlightened me so to laugh and to cry as they put on their show. They show up with purpose, with grace and with ease. And I feel so, so lucky to be one of these poets that have shown me their ways. And today I give thanks for the New Rican Poets Cafe. Thank you.
Ooh, I love the rhyme. I love the poem. Give it up for Christy.
Alchemy was beautiful.
That was alchemy right there.
Sounds like an anthem to me.
Yeah.
One of us.
Oh, yes. One of us. Yes, it does sound like an anthem. Christy Scribbles, the Poetry Alchemist, the _poetry_ alchemist. Scribbles. Love it, love it. Representing up north. It's upstate New York, right? Upstate New York, right? Yep, I remember. Christy Scribbles. Love having her on. And she's also rocked at Hybrid as well. And I think she rocked at the karaoke as well, right? Right? You did the karaoke too, right, Christy? Yeah. I remember seeing you big on the screen here at the New Rican Poets Cafe. Love it. Christy Scribbles. It's so awesome when you have like fantastic poets saying like, I love this community. It's like, oh, but y'all make it. That's so great. Love it. All right, let's keep it moving. Another awesome poet who has made this community great and has been around for a very long time with us and has helped us get to 2 years. It's our brother in India, Mr. Unmesh Mohika. Unmesh, thank you for taking time for your cave exploring and all of these. Like, if you check out his Facebook, this dude is living his best life. I swear to God. Unmesh, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then we ready for your 2 minutes of goodness, brother.
Thanks, Advocate. Happy anniversary to everyone. And yeah, you can find me on Unmesh Mohitkar Instagram and Facebook. I have got an open mic, Let's Unmesh live every Saturday, 11:30 a.m. New York time. So I was thinking, what did Neo give me in last 2 years? one thing is sure, it has made me a better human being. So I am reading this two short poems about Neo and what it has given me. These are from my book. You are a thought. Nothing can stop you, nothing can torment you, nothing can kill you. Wars will be fought, won or lost. You are a thought. Thoughts can explode, thoughts can revolt. You are the change, you are the peace. You are you, like you, not even few. Live your thought. It's the last chance you have got. It's the last chance you have got. This is what Neo has taught me. And there is one more short one. Dreams. Morning has come again. Gone is the dream. Here come reality's regime. Truth has killed so many dreams. Dreams end. But reality's nightmare doesn't care. It stays with you till you fight and dare. Dreams can be real if you really care. Don't just fight for a dream, fight for the right to dream, fight for the right to dream. That is what Neo has taught me. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Unmute yourselves, give some love to my man Umesh.
Yes.
For the right to
Umesh. Poetry's touched the Neo mural.
Always go.
Umesh Mohika, go give him a follow, go buy his book, and make sure you go check out his open mic. This dude gets up so early to come hang out with us online. He is out in India. Umesh, we love you. Thank you, brother. And keep posting pictures of you living your best life. I love it. He's good taking balloon rides. He's like dropping down into caves. That's just like, I'm getting vertigo just looking at his pictures. I love it. Umesh Mohika, go give him a follow. All right. You know, dropping in the caves, that's some badass stuff. So how do we follow that up? We're going to follow it up with a badass poet from the Lower East Side, the Lower East Sider herself, Jane Spoken Word. Jane, let the folks know where they can find you online, and you got 2 minutes to rock it. A pleasure to see you, sis.
Nice to see everybody. I've been gone for a while, so it's nice to be back. It's been a gift to poetize with y'all these past 3 years, so happy anniversary. And I'm Jane Spoken Word on IG and janespokenword.com. And this is some new shit for tonight. Crash landing through the halls of the New Yorican Poets Cafe, in a space between the no thing and completeness, delving into the skeletal structure of this poet's bones, riding the edge between death and breath. Body shaken with every word, a whisper inferred, a poem unheard, a beat between lovely light and dark, shading the living, dancing with suffering heart, rummaging through words of mind, undefined. In my notebook from the dollar store, lusting for words I search for more. Suddenly struck by magic, I am lifted from the tragic. Words emerge from deep inside the marrow. My nightbird song. Good night, sweet sorrow. You have never tasted so sweet. Good night, sweet poets. You are life's heartbeat. Peace, y'all.
Ooh, give it up for Jane Spoken
Yes.
Word.
Jane, it's so good to hear you again. Jane.
Good to have you back. It has been a while. Yeah.
I miss you,
you,
brother.
sister. Miss
Yeah,
you, sister.
That's my Jane.
Jane Spoken Word, and she's a badass poet. So for her to show her softness, I really love it. I love that ending too. Make sure you go give her a follow, Jane Spoken Word. Jane, I hope we see you inside the cafe very soon. I hope all is well with you. Much love to you and your buoy. I hope all is well with y'all. Jane Spoken Word. She is from the Lower East Side. She is a Lower East Sider. And of course, if y'all don't know, the New Rican Poets Cafe is in the Lower East Side, and we're starting started by Lower East Siders. With that being said, let's keep it moving. Next coming up is my man, Lawrence Chan, who's always got something bad to say about the Yankees. Luckily, we appreciate his poetry, though, so we allow him to be here. Lawrence, it's a pleasure to see you, man. I hope all is well with you. Thank you for joining us for the 2-year anniversary. Let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then we ready for your 2 minutes, brother.
No social media. I'm trying to keep it down from the IRS, so no social media. Don't want me to talk anything about the Yankees, so let me be the first one to give you my condolences on Aaron Rodgers going to be kicking your Chicago Bears ass for the next 3 years. So thoughts and prayers out to you. My condolences. Don't say I never did anything for you. Okay? This poem, well, part of a poem I'm going to read. I was supposed to read this a few weeks ago, but I didn't feel like it. I still don't feel like it, but it'd be a lot more easier because I only had to read 2 minutes of it. So this poem is part of a bigger part of a poem. So anyway, let me just start it. Maybe my life was destined for the dark side, so I shouldn't be surprised when my heart died. I was lonely as a child, suicidal since I was a teenager, taking my anger out on strangers, threatening and hurting people with no remorse. The only course I hope is somebody take me out with deadly force. Keeping my enemies close while I wrote their names in my death notes. But I never needed to post bail, even though I deserve to be in jail, because in this country they don't lock up Asian males. But am I another angel that have fell, and my real punishment is waiting for me in hell? Is it cause God in my life I lost control, and I'm just another condemned lost soul? Will I be the one to blame and burn in my own eternal flame? I feel I can't blame anybody else. As I look at myself, I hate the man in the mirror as I see my past sins get clearer. And I feel the end of my life getting nearer. And even though I haven't died, it feels like I'm already on the other side. Hallucinating visions of my dead peers that I lost through all these years, talking to them like they're still here. And I'm wondering if I join them, will anybody shed a tear? Now some would say I write these words like a poet, but it's torture and only I know it. As I write, I relive each of these moments when my life was at my lowest. As I'm telling this to all these strengths, talking to them like I have too much to drink, showing my head crazier than they think. That some of them will label me that crazy chink. Maybe I'm crazy and we just have to face facts. But don't worry, because I'm the one who has to deal with that. For all the drugs I'm on, I still can't hide more the demons and pain I have inside. Even if I keep trying to tell myself lies. All I can ask is the Lord to forgive my sins, because only God knows the pain I suffer from within. So I live life with these demons inside my head, praying to be forgiven for the life I have led.
Unmute yourselves. Let's give some love to Lawrence.
Wow.
We got you, Lawrence. We got you.
Got my support. That was amazing.
Wow.
You like
Just hang in there.
Yeah.
We love you.
Big hug.
Lots of love.
As I say in the beginning, I like to say, some of our poets like to use mommy and daddy language, and then I get a little serious and I let you know that, some of our poets, they will get very vulnerable with it. And I appreciate your vulnerability. I appreciate your honesty, Lawrence. That shows a great deal of bravery. I am sending you all kinds of strength, all kinds of peace, man. I can't sit here and act like I am a therapist, right? I'm an open mic host, but I felt it. I really felt it. I appreciate you, Lawrence, and that little Aaron Rodgers joke was very funny. So, Lawrence, do not be a stranger here. Make sure that y'all go give Lawrence a follow. Lawrence, you can put your. Oh no, wait, he's taking a break. He said he's taking a break from social media. I totally understand, but do not take a break from us, Lawrence. You always got a home here, Lawrence Chance, as you know, mainstay member here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. a Mets fan and a Chicago Bears hater. How? Lawrence Chan, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate the haircut too. I like the haircut, by the way. I'm not sure when you got it, but I like the haircut too. All right, let's keep it moving. Next coming up is the woman who the only person who could rock those glasses right there, and that is the woman we like to call Thunderlun, Ray Jane. Ray, let the folks know where they can find you and your glasses online, and then we ready for it. We ready for your poetry, sis.
What's up? What's up, family? Happy 200th to all y'all. Appreciate and love y'all for the space you make and contribute to. Shout out to all the poets that have gone before me. Y'all are fire, but we already knew that, right? If you like what you hear, you can find me at itsrayjane.com. That's itsrayjane.com. This is for y'all. If you like the specs and you want some specs like that, voogme.com. I'll put it in the chat. Treat yourself, okay? So this one doesn't have a title, but it's for you. I wonder if Miguel had this in mind. Never had the privilege to ask him, so when I enter his house, I whisper thank you to its bricks, as if I don't already ooze gratitude when our family was confined to imaginary boxes. I wonder if Miguel had this in mind. While hands joined his to build it, inspiration must have been the mortar. The stage must be made of glory, must be a cauldron. I'm sure I felt hot coals under these feet each time we come to speak of rage, belonging, wonder, joy, protest, all the best ingredients. I wonder if he knew we'd be walking out smelling of gumbo and giving, returning to the world doused in what we need. I wonder if Miguel had that in mind for this spiritual temple erected from positive intention, still advocating, standing on dreams yet spoken, emitting bruja frequencies that glow in dark places. Home always lives as a beacon. I wonder if he had this in mind when he made it home, cause ask anybody, once we make it to the new yo, we walk easily into our happiest memories, where we feel safe, where we feel complete. Greet each new returning soul with a drink at the bar at the best seat, drunk off this new home, cause home wasn't always happy for everybody. I wonder if this is Miguel's love, this love that feels like gifts given in earnest. I wonder if this is what Miguel had in mind, a place that would snap our chains and unleash our minds with love so genuine, so unbelievably kind, so consistent it feels like the rhythm of time, in a land built on nothing but revolving hate and lies, in a land built on our people's bodies, guaranteeing only demise. We who dare to hold hands, touch, and realize that this love is real. This love is hard to find. This love has always been yours, and it will always be mine. I wonder if this is what Miguel had in mind. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Ray Jane.
Ray Jane.
That was amazing.
I wouldn't be surprised if Miguel helped you write that poem.
Miguel heard that.
Come on, sis. Come on, sis.
100.
Ray Jane, you give her a follow. It's Ray Jane, ITS. Ray Jane, whoo, that poem gave me the chills, man. That gave me the chills because I always think about that every time I come to host, every time someone says, yo, representing the New Rican Poets Cafe right now as advocate of Wordz, I always think, yo, is this what Miguel had in mind? Would Miguel give this nod? Would Miguel say, yup, you add into it. This is what we want. Appreciate you. So like, whew, that's the anthem for me right now. Ray Jane, go give her a follow. It's Ray Jane, ITS, Ray Jane on Instagram, and her website's also itsrayjane.com. Now, I also wonder if Miguel thought that we would be reaching Japan. And right now, we going all the way out to Japan. Well, my man who knows how to put on a show with Zoom, his poetry and production value is untouchable. And that is my man, Poetic. The floor is yours, man. I am excited to see what you got for us. Go ahead, brother.
Congrats! Second anniversary, New York Farm and Advocates. I know. Oh, what a coincidence. Nick's poetry was a festival. My piece tonight's my piece is a carnival. Tonight I wanted to celebrate with Bali Island, Indonesia's Bali Islands chorus kecha sounds like a kecha 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 kecha. So please enjoy this hyper beatbox rhythm sounds. So I hope you will enjoy it. Now let's get started. Carnival! 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 Catch fire! Catch fire! I am in the darkness. Catch fire! Keep it turning. Keep it turning. If you stop, we'll be covered with moss. Carnival! Carnival! Hell, heaven, it's up to you. Cannibal, cannibal, rather than rich, hopeless, humble, half full. Keep your heart burning, keep your heart burning. Don't brush the fire with a fucking bull whining. Try to fly, try to fly. The fear lives inside, not outside. Cannibal, cannibal, hell, heaven is up to you. Cannibal, cannibal, rather than rich, hopeless, humble, half full. 쇼지 쇼대야 쇼소한 우조 범로소 보디 범로소 부시 Stone roll harder, see get louder. You guys can't put out this crazy fire. Nothing to be scared, nothing to be scared. My fire scares away the darkness and your tears. Cannibal, cannibal, hell, heaven is up to you. Cannibal, cannibal, rather than rich, hopeless, humble, humble. Cannibal, cannibal, hell, heaven is up to you. Cannibal, cannibal, rather than rich, hopeless, humble, humble. Cannibal, 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 cannibal. New York, happy anniversary! Thank you.
I'm doing so good for Wordz.
He does it again.
Yes, that was everything. Oh my God, that was great.
Old times next level, man.
But talk, that was. Oh my God.
Hashtag inhuman.
Thank you.
Poetic always giving another level to this open mic. I love this dude. And then he gives us so much love by not only getting up early to be with us, but shouting us out in Japan. The good folks in Japan know about us because he be getting on the radio, telling the people on the radio, giving shout outs. Brother, I appreciate your artistry and I appreciate the love you give to this community. Poetic, if you want to see more of his awesomeness, you can find him on YouTube. It's all there. Make sure you go check it out. It's all there. Now listen, man. We can't have an open mic, right, without a little edge to us. You know what I'm saying? A little chip on the shoulder, a little attitude right here. And right now, to represent that attitude is Miss James. Kawana James, aka Miss Attitude. Now she from the Bronx. I know she's outside, but she's still from the Bronx, right? You can take the attitude out of the Bronx, but you can't take the Bronx out of the attitude. Sis, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then we ready for it. We always ready for it. We love it.
Thank you. Happy anniversary. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Y'all are all so awesome and amazing. I feel like I found like my fam, where I belong. And I thank y'all for that. I am a totally adult spoken word artist. I go by the name of Kawana James, aka Miss Attitude. And you can find me on Facebook under Kawana James. I have one poem for y'all. I'm just gonna say this is for the ladies. Ladies, you know how these men think it's all about them, but it's not. The name of this poem is called It's Just the Dick. It's just the dick. Don't get it twisted. Think it's you? No, it's the dick you attached to. He's the best. Swings low, brings out the hoe. Bends me over the top, cherry pop. You don't call, hardly text, but the sex gave Dick a name. He's who I claim, but what's your name? Who cares? As long as the general is here and you're willing to share. You think you're the man, you ain't. Your breath sometimes smells stank. You a little fat, you think you're all that. Please get some romance stat. Whose pussy is it? My nigga, just leave me alone and let the general pull the trigger. Lord, I wish I could take the general with me. Jesus, why you gave a general to a private, a man who ain't shit? I'm so mad I could spit thinking about this grinning dimwit. Oh, well, it is what it is, none of my biz. But so you're not confused thinking it's you? It's not. It's the dick. The whole dick and nothing but the dick. No lie, no trick. So help me God, it's just the dick. Peace, Miss Attitude.
Oh, you just give it up for Miss
I love it.
Genius.
Damn
it, that was
What it
genius.
really
Oh
is.
my God.
Man, I said amen,
Oh
amen.
my
That was
God.
awesome.
Amen, amen.
That was awesome.
Hilarious. Fucking
Complete.
funny.
Do not let anyone ever tell you that poetry is not allowed to be entertaining. Poetry is supposed to be entertaining, and this is why the Monday Night Online Open Mic, I think, does well. Because, yes, we do vulnerable well, but we also do entertaining so well. Miss Kawana James, better known as Miss Attitude. I love it. I love it. Make sure that you give her a follow, a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. I am proud to say she is a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. So many quotables in that. Listen, we've heard a lot of great poems tonight. We still have a strong list to go. I think we've got like 7 more poets to go. We are ending so strong on this. If y'all want to go and rewatch Miss Attitude's poem or any of the other poets that rock tonight, make sure you look up New Rican Poets Cafe on Facebook and YouTube. If you rock tonight and you feel like there are people that needed to hear your poem, you can go and you will be able to get, like on YouTube, it allows you to go directly to your poem and you can share that. It's sometimes, we just want to show our friends or we want to put on our page because our ex is stalking us and we want to show off that we're doing this poem stuff and all of that. It's okay even if you share that and you can do that. And then maybe after people hear your poem and then they're going to want to hear the person after you and then they'll be like, wait, what was the poem before that and that? So just make sure and you go check that out and make sure you check out Miss Attitude. All right, we've still got Julia Matthews, Alda Torres, Pel Zingel, Paul Skiff, Terry Rose Jurtson, Kyla Tucaya Garcia, and Propaganda. So let us now go to my man who we haven't heard in a while, Mr. Julian Matthews. This man Julian, he finds the artery in his soul and he cuts it open, he bleeds it onto a paper, and then he shares it with all of us. Julian, we haven't seen you in a while. I hope all is well. Thank you for returning. Let the good folks know where they can find you online, and you got 2 minutes to pour your heart out to us. We love it. We ready, Julian.
I dropped it in the chat. The poems we write. Your poem is a bird song on a morning walk in a garden. My poem is hooting in the night. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Your poem is a field of sunflowers, petals turning towards the sun, feeding the bees. My poem is poison ivy, a weed creeping under skin, a rash that itches and swells. Your poem is sunlight reflected on a raging, radiant river. My poem paces in unlit corners, peering through bars of its own cage. Your poem is a trip to the coast, a dip in cool waters, a moonlit dinner, a real catch. My poem is fish bait, worms on a hook, snap lines and all-day stinkers. My poem is salt and vinegar in an open wound, cigarette burns on raw skin. Your poem is the ice pack, the cool balm, the dressing for the healing. My poem is slash and burn, a forest in flames, a smoky inhalation. Your poem is oof, needs a deep breath after, oxygen for the brain. My poem is the temptation in the desert, the mirage, the searing sun. Your poem is the search and rescue, the long ride home, the oasis of real dreams. My poem is the emotional smack in the face. Your poem is the embarrassed apology after Your poem is a rock. My poem is unwilling. Your poem, my poem, is a boulevard of broken dreams. Your poem is the road to redemption. My poem is the bite and snake poison. Your poem is the anti-venom serum. My poem is a cry of pain, the walk of shame. Your poem is the pilgrimage, a return to Eden. My poem is tired and lost, all alone. Your poem is the light to find my way home. Your poem is home. Your poetry is home. Your poetry is home. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Julian Matthews.
Gorgeous.
That was amazing.
Absolutely wonderful
words. Thank you for sharing. Good to hear you guys.
They're called tears. I keep them in my eyes where they belong.
Julian Matthews, there's so many ways to take that poem, man. There's ways to take it like, oh, he's just being humble about his poetry, and then taking it like, oh, is he talking about a relationship and the poetry is the heart. Ooh, Julian Matthews, drop your info in the chat again so the people can follow you. Don't be a stranger, man. I know life gets in the way for all of us, and sometimes we got to do things, and I know that you probably have to get up really early to join us, but you know, as everyone knows that me as a host, I am selfish and greedy as hell. So get up early, do whatever you gotta do, and join us, Julian. We miss you. I hope all is well with you, brother. Thank you for sharing with us, Julian Matthews. Next coming up is Alda Torres, who just killed it. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, the last time you joined us. When was it, Alda? It was 2 weeks. The artist formerly known as Aldaneri, now known as Alda. When was it? It was last week or 2 weeks ago that you joined us?
I believe it was last week. Yeah.
Oh my God, your poem, just especially being from the Bronx myself, your poem killed me. Woo! Alda, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then you got 2 minutes to rock out. We ready for it. We ready for it. Thank you for coming back.
No problem. I'll put my info in the chat in sake of time. Okay, so I just quickly typed this up. It's new shit, so it's because of the anniversary. Yes, so this is to the family has taught me that any writing that makes sense to you is heard. Writing from your heart is seen. Your trauma is heard. Whatever obstacles you're facing or have faced is heard, listened, and respectfully chanted. I've talked about and I've heard about how being fat is equal. It is equal as beauty. And in the past, that was a confusing thing to me. Thank you, New Yorkers, thank you, in which has helped me hold my confidence. Thank you. I have talked comfortably about my suicide attempt, racism, how society has failed to practice inclusion. You've all heard me. You've all heard my rage, my rant, my anger about my bitch ass past relationships. New Yorkers taught me that I am not the only living weirdo on planet. Please do not take that word offensive. You are all one of us, one of me. You are all one of my poet family. You are my family. Thank you, my new family. Thank you. That's it.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for family.
Yes. That was awesome.
Me.
One of me. Yeah, I like it.
Are definitely not.
We are heard. You are one of us.
Weird of us.
One of us, you weirdo. Alda Torres, make sure you give her a follow. Alda, put her info in the chat. Make sure you put your info in the chat again, because people have been saying nice things about you. It got bumped up. I want to make sure that they know where to follow you and whatnot. And like, yo, being normal is boring, right? Like being normal, we live in a sick ass society. So being normal is sick. Who wants to be normal? Well, that's just me. Let me not push my politics. I am a proud weirdo. And if y'all are weirdo, then you in the right place, because I'm all about my weirdos, especially being born and raised in New York City. I don't know if you can hear the music upstairs, but someone is being very weird with the music upstairs. We're gonna keep it moving. We're now going to Pell Zingel, and depending on how you're looking at it, he is either staying up really late or getting up really early to hang out with us. Pal, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then we ready for your poetry, man. One of the newest mainstay members of the Monday Night Online Open Mic, Pell Zingel. Go ahead, brother.
Hello from Denmark, and you can find me on Instagram and on Facebook and YouTube. It's just my name, Pelle Single, but I will put it in the chat after my performance. And this poem is called Breathe in Lines of Air. My nose out of the window, breathe in lines of the winter night, spiced with tired, naked trees, shaken because they are freezing, monotonous, frozen perfume, degrees below freezing point of melancholy, surfaces without colors, night frost, air statuettes, frost damage in the air satisfaction wipes. My nose out of the window, breathe in lines of the spring night, spiced with fresh news, adventure, roller coaster, new start, pure nature without scratches. Breathe in neon colors of happy particles into my soul's window lair, for sale without amount of money, free heavenly perfume. My nose out of the window, breathe in lines of the summer night, spiced with fingerprints left from the sun that shine through the day, sunbeam pieces in cold landscapes, shades of melodies. Let's create summer adventure memories. Evaporated love on air cruise ships. Night adventure twisted with hypnotic oxygen. Pulse of life, the fuel to delight. Addicted to the perfume. My nose out of the window, breathing lines of the autumn night, spiced with a storm of the last summer fragments. Rain of rusty leaves on sale, overloaded abundance. Raindrops like locked bars in the air, the summer in prison, breathing the last pieces of summer perfume into my soul before the rottenness ocean, drowning the air into spoiled roads. I'm a little bit tired, so I'm sorry about some words were a little bit, but yeah, thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Pell Zingel.
Yes, pal.
Oh, dope.
That was awesome.
Good
read, good read.
Coming through. Dope.
Damn it.
Yeah, how many of y'all are staying up late to be on the open mic in Denmark? Y'all try that. Make sure you go give Pell Zingel a follow. Man, thank you so much for staying up and joining us. And you know, like I said, I'm gonna be selfish again. Like I'm sure you got so many things to do in life and you need your sleep, but I'm gonna ask you not to sleep so you could come hang out with us some more. Pell Zingel, go give that dude a follow. We are down to our last four poets: Paul Skiff, Terry Rose Jurtson, Kyla Tucaya Garcia, and Propaganda Poet. So now, after all this time of being in the open mic, let us leave the open mic and enter the skiff verse and be one with the OG Lower East Sider, the man himself, the man who has more claim to this open mic than I do, and that is Mr. Paul Skiff. Paul, thank you so much for being part of this community. Thank you so much for being part of the New Eurekan Poets Cafes community way before the internet was even a thing for all of us. I appreciate you so much, brother. I hope to see you here in the cafe very soon. Let the folks know where they can find you online, and then we ready to travel in the Skipverse, man. We ready.
Thank you, Advocate, for your warm welcome again. Thanks everybody who's been pouring it out on another Inferno night here, 200 fucking weeks. I'm just on Instagram as Skiffgram. 2 years dodging random chances. Tomorrow deprived of the same touch as yesterday. I am the 2-minute nowhere you initiated in your device. Your sight falling inwards, irradiated by caged lightning. You could stick your hand in like it was water, only there is nothing to touch but my emotion. Truth, you cannot show me time. It is not a thing that exists. That is why it sneaks up, passes away, and is vanished before you know it. But my tongue is a parade float that turns time into the now of this instant, submersing in the ear. We are all creatures of the sea, and I first knew this ocean in my mother's fantastical crucible, the imbubbled fraction of the ocean where I rode the cosmic stew of time's amniotic harbor, listening to the lulling poem of my mother's Polish heart. Tonight, we also are the birthers of everything we sense in the new, now, shapeless sound. Our voices undress letters into the awful mess and bliss of this survival. We are what is left, what continues. But we know how to survive, right? Because we survived ourselves, being human, a species that murders itself. So against the morbid instinct shared by the thoughtless microbe, I inject serum of my voice into these ears so the days bend and flex, a rhapsody made of single footsteps, measure survival as humans have always done, with persistence of my own body. And as my body is still here, I will conjure from my body's transcendent resource the loving invitation once stretched out to me across East 3rd Street, for I am still a child of Miguel Algarin's travesura, one of his mischievous intellectual pranks. And to continue to thrive, I will grab Miguel's outstretched hand with my memory every fucking day I am still alive, because I want to be pulled into the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, where I learned a lot of tricks about how to endure. I only wish I could tell Miguel. I wish I could tell you, Miguel. I wish I could tell Miguel how much easier he has made it for all of us to survive. We still doing it, Miguel. 200 fucking weeks of your inspiration, love, defiance, and backbone.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Paul Skiff.
Oh my
Damn,
God.
Paul.
Always amazing.
Holy shit, that was fucking wild.
That was incredible.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Miguel heard that. Miguel heard that. He sure did.
From one legend to another, from Paul Skiff to Miguel Algarin. Woo! It is fire. Make sure you go check out Paul Skiff's website. Make sure you befriend him. If you get on his good side, maybe he'll tell you some stories, behind the scene things that cannot be told on Zoom. Okay? Make sure, like that's one of the amazing things about being here at the cafe and getting to speak with the people who've been here for a while. You hear the things that they would not dare put on the internet. There are so many stories behind the scenes. I love it. Shout out to Mr. Paul Skiff. Make sure that you go give him a follow on Instagram, Skiffgram. Check out his website, paulskiff.com. And a fire poet himself. Paul Skiff. Thank you, Paul. I love this dude, man. Yo, when I started out like at the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, like in terms of like being officially a part of it, I started out hosting an open mic at 1 a.m. on Friday night at the Friday Night Slam, right? And I live all the way in the Bronx. And one of the people who would come all the time and light it up was Paul Skiff. Always appreciated this dude way before Zoom. Thank you, Paul. I love you. Let's keep it moving. Next coming up, we've got, before I do that, Ron Mark Thompson has given me the list. There are 12 people who have signed up. He's going to get me everyone's emails. I'm going to let you know. What I'm going to do is I'm trying to go and make sure that I get people who either haven't, like, I got to look through the list to see who's on there, who hasn't like performed recently, or to see like who's on the list that's performed multiple times and stuff like that. Because I want to try to be fair and make sure I get people on who either haven't been on at all, although I think everyone on the list I think has been on, or maybe haven't been on multiple times. I don't know, but I'm going to be emailing people either by this Tuesday or this Wednesday to let you know. And also you can check by the Zoom, because if someone bows out, then we got an extra space, and it's like, screw it, I'm gonna put you in. I cannot tell you how many times I've done that on Zoom. People say, I'm gonna be there, and then they don't, because they get a hot date, and then they don't let us know. But I understand. All right, so also, I gotta let you know, Ron reminded me that this Wednesday at the Yorkville Library, there is a free workshop I am hosting. Hit me up if you want the info, if you are in New York City and you'd like to get a little taste of what my workshops are like, and you want to come rock out with me Wednesday in Yorkville. Oh, Ron put it into the chat right there. Make sure you check it out. With that being said, now I promise we're going to Terry Rose Jurtson. All right, let me unmute Terry. Are you there?
Yes, hi.
She's there! Terry, let the folks know. Oh, we're down to our last 3 poets. Terry, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then we're ready for your 2 minutes of goodness, sis. Thank you for being part of this community.
Thank you for having me. So you can find me on Teresa Rose Jurtson on Facebook, or you can find me on iFunnies Mom on Instagram, and it's IFUNNIEZ Mom. So my poem is called Karen and Friends. Is it real or is it Maybelline? What is she wearing? Her heart on her sleeve, her privilege on her face and lips? Exorcise that demon, wielding her power, her privilege, smashing the little people with her judgment. She is better than they are. She will never say such a thing because she has more class. She can feel better about herself, or not so guilty, when she leaves extra change on the counter for the next person in line at the grocery store. She comes home and then tells everybody about her unselfish act. When Karen dies, she specifies in her will and testament that her riches will be left to her pet because she cannot see the worth in people. However, she will never say such a thing. She passes by those less fortunate with her rings turned inside her fingers and her Versace bag shoved in a cheap tote so it cannot be glimpsed by those in need, lest they expect more than the change that falls in the bottom of said bag. She passes by them, averting her gaze. She thinks she will pray for them to improve their situation. Good Christian woman, the church lady, going to congregate with others just like her every Sunday. Jesus will save her, them, and those less fortunate, all dressed in their Sunday best, never realizing that she put lipstick on a pig. Praise the Lord.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up to Terry Rose Jurtson.
Not sleep on this post. Do not sleep on this post.
Not sleep on Terry Rose. That was lit.
Job, Terry. Nice job.
So funny.
Thank
So
you.
good.
Thank you.
You know, Emily Cordes had put it in a poem, one of my sayings, and I always say that, like, a poet is like a knight. They carry a big sword, right? Like they carry a big sword. They could either knight you, or they could slice your head off. All right, Terry just sliced someone's head off. Make sure you go give Terry Rose Jurtson a follow. Make sure you go give her a follow, y'all. Representing New Jersey, even though she's a Phillies fan. So, yes. Also, I'm getting the question about for hybrid, if you come to hybrid, you have to perform. Of course not. You can come and hang out, listen to the poetry, hang out with the people who are here, whether it's on Zoom or in the cafe, right? And you don't have to be part of karaoke, although I cannot promise you that Paul will not try to use his honey trapping skills to get you on the mic to sing, all right? I cannot promise you that. But make sure that you do come out and hang out with this community. So many people, like, of what you're seeing online, like they are like that in person. It has been fantastic meeting all of y'all. And next coming up is someone that I mostly get to see her online, but I have gotten to meet her in person, and she is fantastic in person. I can't wait till she comes back to the East Coast, and that is, or out to the cafe, and that is Kyla Tugaya Garcia. Where'd she go on here? Oh, where'd she go? Let me ask him. You heard Kyla? You there?
I'm here. I'm here.
She's here. She's here. Yeah. We are down to our last two poets, Kyla Tugaya Garcia. I'm loving the braids, by the way, sis. Looking good. Let the folks know where they can find you online, and then we ready for your 2 minutes of goodness.
Thank you, advocate, brother, advocate for all of the artists and for our family here. We're so grateful for you in this space and your spirit. Celebrating you. Hola, Poet Familia. Thank you for your art tonight. My name is Kyla Tugaya Garcia. I am on the unceded lands of the Tongva people. You can find me at Kylark on Instagram or www.kylagarcia.com. This poem is called If You Want to Be Stronger, You've Got to Get Softer. Your heart is a sunflower. It was never a rose. It follows the sun wherever it goes. Even when it goes down, it's because the sun is coming up. You've never needed thorns to fill your cup. Put down your sword. Stop fighting your shadow. Embrace her. She's been learning beside you the whole time. Put down your sword. Hold your tongue. Every judgment you make is a mirror of your own fear. Put down your sword. Can't you see that holding on to it is what is keeping you in the swamps of sadness? Stop telling everyone about your angels and listen to them. Can't you see how the grudges you hold, the grievances, your ability to remember every detail of how they hurt you is making you forget everything else? See what is in front of you. What is in front of you? What is in front of you? Your life will last 4,000 weeks if you're lucky. That's 672,000 hours. How could you spend even one of them not loving? You cannot speak poison without ingesting it yourself. Release the pollution. Transmute disrespected foul into flowers. Precious birds free from oil spills, they don't stay covered in it forever. Forests that have been ravaged by fire grow back every time. Why are you allowing yourself to refuse the buds in bloom? Be the sunflower. Forget the rose, forget the thorn, forget the past. Aren't you bored yet with the story? Isn't it time? Isn't it time? Isn't it time? Find the jewel beneath the volcano?
The jewel beneath the oh my God! Give it up for fire!
Thank you.
Incredible, incredible. You
Oh
are
my
a gift.
goodness.
You're a gift. Thank you. Incredible.
Wow.
Kyla Tugaya Garcia, just when like she's hitting all them quotables, she winds up saving the best line for last. Make sure you go give her a follow and check out her website. I didn't know she had a website. Now I'm gonna have to go check it out. Kyla Tugaya Garcia, thank you so much, sis, for being part of this community. I can't wait to have you come visit us back here on the East Coast again. Come to the cafe. She got to rock out. We did an event here with the Wild Project outside, and the cafe was locked. She didn't get to come in, so hopefully soon enough, you know, she'll be over here and she'll get to rock and bless the sage. Kyla Tugaya Garcia. So for 2 years we have been doing this, and for 2 years we have been encouraging your behavior. And next coming up is a man who I just stole his line. I don't know what he's gonna say after doing this poem, but I just stole his line. We encourage his behavior. We encourage all of y'all behavior. All of y'all encourage our behavior. And that is my man who I got to meet recently. Who he is online is who he is in person. My man, Propaganda Poet, closing out the night. Propaganda Poet, do not fold to the pressure. You're closing it out for us, brother. A pleasure to see you. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I love the shit out of all of you so much. I cannot even begin to express how you are etched upon my soul, each and every one of you. So it is an honor and a gift to close out a night like this. So I hope I do it justice. This poem is about ripples and all of the ripples that y'all send out. This is dedicated to all of my sinner poets, all of my proud weirdos. Let they who are without sin cast the first stone. We are not alone. This stone is skipping across the universe, sending ripples like gravitational waves that pave the ways for creative forces to flow. Far better than just rolling the bones. These stone-thrown ripples always beat the house. Never to be taken for granted. These granite salutations create the foundations that can bring down this Goliath nation of ego fuck towers built on funeral wreath flowers, reminding us all that we have the power if we just choose to live these words. So don't tell us not to throw our stones just because someone needs to atone for all of your sins against humanity. In the end, nobody wins if we don't learn how to work together. So let us flock like birds of a feather so we can spread the word. We must not let them cull our herd with false prophecy and forced autocracy. They will not block our way. We will have our say. It's time for us to have ourselves a real judgment day. Yes, let us throw these stones. Let our ripples grow. Tsunami tidal waves that usher in new days of community, culture, poetry, and song. This is what they have feared all along. Thank you all for being who you are. And thank you for encouraging your own behavior.
Give it up for propaganda poet!
And that was perfect to close out tonight. Amazing. You can't wait to see you back here on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Just dope.
Propaganda poet, make sure that you give that man a follow. Propaganda poet, also known as Bear Wolf on Facebook. Make sure you go give him a follow. 2 years, folks. 2 years we have been doing this for 2 years, and a lot of people have mentioned it. And I'm going to mention it again because it rings very true for me. I don't know how I would have gone through or gotten through this pandemic without y'all. Because of y'all, I have so many more opportunities at the cafe because of how beautiful this community is. The cafe is like, well, we want to open up more doors for you, Wordz, because this community is great. This is the kind of community that we want to build here at the cafe. And I don't mean this in jest, I mean this honestly. I've gotten to meet my love, Mariella, on here, and y'all make me look so much better than what I am. And now she views me through y'all eyes. So we're going to have to keep doing this for a long time because I don't want her to go anywhere. So I appreciate all of y'all for that. I appreciate the love you have given me when I have brought my son letters on. I appreciate the love that y'all have been giving me when you follow me online. And I like to go off the poetry topic and talk about coaching the baseball team with my son letters. We won our first game, by the way. I appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate y'all for supporting me with the workshops, with hybrid, with experimenting, supporting us with 2 venues, 1 mic, because like at the end of the day, like, you know, these are things that I want to see in the world, right? This is why I'm doing this. These are things I want to see in the world, and I appreciate y'all giving me all of that energy. And we still got so much more to do, this anthology. And y'all know me. I still got more in the works I haven't even talked about behind the scenes. Oh, there's so much more. Nonetheless, thank y'all for making Mondays an awesome day for me. I hope that y'all have enjoyed it. Make sure that you go and follow New York Poets Cafe on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, because like I said, we got more coming up. So info on me hosting the workshop here on Sundays, info on me hosting the workshop on Wednesday at the library, info on how to send the anthology, where to send it to, what you need to do, how to format, all of that is going to start to be going up tomorrow. Shout out to the sung hero of the community, Mr. Mark Thompson. We love you, brother. I'm excited to see you on Saturday, man. Hybrids coming up. I'm excited to see the karaoke afterwards. It got so crazy afterwards. So with that being said, good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to share what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen for 2 years. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as these last 2 years' poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting me and the spirit of Miguel Agarin into your home. This has been 2 years of the Monday Night Online Open Mic, presented by the legendary Nuyorican Poets Cafe. I have been the lucky dude who gets to host it, Advocate of Wordz. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And good night, sweet poet. And good night from Loco too, the Phantom of the Cafe who walked by. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all soon.